What's up? 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 What's going on, fight fans? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan in the building. Hey man, y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Once again, it's on. Once again, it is an honor and a pleasure. I repeat, an honor and a pleasure to rock out with the boxing fam and the boxing fans. Thursday. You know what that means. It's our time now, man. What up to the fam? Thumbs up as you pull up. You already know. You know what I'm saying? What y'all thought I wasn't coming through? What y'all thought I wasn't going to show up? I get it. It's late, fight fans. Hell, it's 10:06 p.m. out here on the East Coast. But guess what? The homie is here. Long day and all. And can't wait to sit down and talk this real spill, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I hope everybody out there having a cool ass day, having a cool ass week, you know what I'm saying, and the whole nine. And yeah, man, hopefully I could take y'all away from your troubles for a little bit, you know what I mean? And we could talk this boxing, get your mind on this boxing. We got some big events coming up in the sport of boxing, especially this weekend. Mr. Canelo Alverez, fight week, fight fans. Mr. Canelo Alverez is supposed to be showing on up. Yeah, man, to take on his toughest test. His toughest test to date, what they calling it, with Dmitry Bivol. A fight that Mainman has been calling for, fight fans, since as far back as I can remember. This is a fight that Canelo may just have to get his respect from Mainman Mademan in the proper way. I can't think of no negatives here, fight fans. I can't think of no negatives here, whether it's with the opponent or whether it's with the actual fight itself. I can't think of no negatives. There's no catch weight crap. There's no Canelo weights. There's nothing. There's no bells and whistles. It's straight up and down a fight. I've been asking for that, fight fans. And most importantly, I've been asking for Dmitry Bivol because I got a lot of respect for Dmitry Bivol. So we're going to definitely rock on out. This is We Talking Boxing Live. So for those who don't know, we kind of roll through boxing on We Talking Boxing Live. We don't just keep it limited to one subject. On We Talking Boxing, we move through and rattle some cages, see what's going on around the sport, start off with the lighter topics and get heavier as it goes through. I'll open up the phone lines towards the end, you know what I'm saying? So if anybody want to call in, give me your prediction, give me what you may see in this upcoming fight with Canelo and Bivol, feel free to do so. You know what I'm saying? Hell, if you want to talk about anything boxing related, holla at the homie. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Holla at the homie. If y'all want to talk about this Spence Crawford jazz, this Canelo jazz saving the fight, you know what I'm saying? Thank goodness that Canelo saved the fight, right? Then holla at the homie, because I'm here for you. I know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get this thing cracking. I'm not going to hold y'all late. It's not going to be a super duper long show tonight. We're going to get in here short and sweet. We're going to lay our points down and we're going to get on up out of here. You know what I'm saying? If you're catching me in the morning on your way to work, thumbs up for me as you catch this joint. You know what I'm saying? Be on the lookout for the Red Corner, fight fans. Boxing animated series from Mainman Mademan. New episodes are coming. Also, keep your third eye open. I'm working on the merchandise, fight fans. Be looking out for Mainman's coffee mugs coming through this joint real soon. You know what I'm saying? Cop that, man, because I'm going to have about 3 of them sitting on set with me. You feel me? I'm going to be chilling with them joints, so I want y'all drinking that coffee with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be going back in the mornings a lot, so yeah, I'm going to be picking that back up, and it's going to be cool to have that cool coffee mug sitting here sipping with Mainman. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to definitely do that. We're going to put all of my favorite slogans on that joint. You feel me? All day. Who gonna tell them no? You know, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all of the support for everyone that cop one, man. So those are gonna be coming soon. So without any further ado, fight fans, let's get this party started. Salute to everybody that's on deck. I got Salah Farah in the house. Salah Farah, what's up, family? What's going on? Mainman Mademan in the house, dropping that boxing knowledge all day. I appreciate that love, fam. You already. Last of a Dying Breed is here. What's up with you, Last of a Dying Breed? How you, man? I appreciate you rolling with me tonight, family. And much love, bruh. Much love. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everyone that come on through tonight. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, fight fans, let's get this party started. Like I said, I don't want to hold y'all late, and I don't want the music to be too loud, so I'm going to make sure we got this joint at a real cool level. You know what I'm saying? That's how we going to do it. So let me get behind the scenes for a second, fight fans. Look here, man. We're going to start off real light, but I want to pick up where I left off at in my last stream, or should I say my last video that I did here on the channel. And I want to just kind of wrap this on up because truth be told, fight fans, I guess you could say I'm still a little bit in shock by the news. I'm just honestly still in shock by the news. So I'm going to ask the question once again. Did Canelo save the Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford fight? I mean, fight fans, the only reason I say that is because I asked the question of what happens if Canelo says yes. What happens if Canelo says yes? Now, I know his Errol Spence fans are probably scrambling all over the place like Randall Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, you know, it was for this, it was that time, and this time, whatever y'all want to say. Bullshit. We all know it's bullshit, Crawford Nation. But at the end of the day, what if Canelo would have said yes? Where would we be? Now, if you want to put all of this into perspective, you could look at it this way. Okay, let's say this deal was proposed after Billy Joe Saunders fight, right? Right before the Caleb Plant fight. Now, we remember the news about all this. It was all out there, you know what I'm saying? Multi-fight deals offered to Canelo Alverez. We didn't hear Errol Spence at the time, but we did hear the Charlos and we did hear Benavidez, right? And this was proposed, right, like I say, right before the Caleb Plant fight. So Canelo, if I recall, because I remember covering that, he turned down basically every deal that the PBC pretty much threw at him. They were trying to get him to do a multi-fight deal, right? Hold on, fight fans. Let me turn this music down. It sounds like the music is still a little louder than I wanted it to be. If it's too loud, fight fans, and y'all can't hear me, I don't want to be talking all over the music too loud. But okay, let's go back to this. So now, the time frame for this is right before the Caleb Plant fight. So Canelo Alvarez had turned down multiple fight deals from PBC during that time. Remember, Canelo was happy to be a free agent. He had, matter of fact, had just became a free agent around that time. So he wasn't trying to be locked in for nothing. He was just trying to do his free agency thing. Fight here, fight there, fight here, fight there. Remember, it was making Eddie Hearn sick. It was turning Eddie Hearn's stomach. He ain't know what to do. He was afraid that he was going to lose Canelo to Premier Boxing Champions around that time. Remember? And so Canelo turned down PBC and all of the deals that they were offering at the time, and he literally walked away from the table. And as he was walking away from the table, they say, hold on, Canelo, hold up. All right, fine. One fight deal, just fight Caleb Plant, and then you can go off and do whatever you want. And then they offered him like $50 million to do it, remember? And so this is the time frame we talking about. So we talking about right before the Caleb Plant fight. So they saying that according to that deal, it was supposed to be what? Charlo first, then either Earl or David Benavidez, right? So clearly after the Caleb Plant fight, this fight coming up with Dmitry Bivol, he would have been starting on the Charlo fight, right? If he would have said yes, he would have been starting on the Charlo fight. So Errol Spence Jr. would have went down the route that he possibly was even currently going on towards Jordanis Ugas, or maybe even the IBF Mando, either or. Maybe we wouldn't even gotten the Ugas if they knew that the Canelo Alvarez fight was going to be on the table. Maybe that Ugas fight wouldn't have happened. Maybe the WBA situation, the step aside money and all that, none of that stuff happens. Maybe Earl just goes down to IBF, bring on Abdul Kokorov, it kills time. Now, I find it real funny because Errol Spence Jr. actually went to Canelo's fight. That's what makes this whole thing all like down. Now it makes sense because I have been teasing him ever since he went to that fight as to why do you go to that fight, bro, but you don't go to Bud's fight. Remember before he went to Bud's fight, he went to Canelo's fight, but he didn't go to Bud's fight. So we didn't understand it at the time. Like, why is he popping up, kissing Canelo's ass and everything like that? Well, it clearly makes sense, fight fans, because he must have knew something was in the pipeline, right? That's the reason he went to the fight. There was nothing on the table for Terence Crawford. During that time, Terence Crawford was talking about, was that around the Sean Porter time? Was that around the Sean Porter time? So they wasn't thinking about no damn, it was before Sean Porter. Okay, so this was before. This was right after Kell Brook, I think somewhere around in there. But they wasn't thinking about Crawford. He's at Canelo's fight. PBC is sending deals to Canelo with Earl's name in it. They all know what the hell is going on here. So let's go back to the timeline. So technically where we would be if Canelo had said yes, will be Canelo facing Charlo, Earl wrapping up either Ugas or maybe even an IBF situation, and then what? People say, well, hey, man, maybe he could have went and fought Bud. I doubt it. Think about it, fight fans. Use your brain. You think that they would even risk a Canelo fight by putting Errol Spence Jr. in the line of fire before a Canelo fight? Do you think boxing works like that? Or does boxing protect the investment? Would we had got an IBF situation and then maybe the WBA situation right behind it? What stops that from happening? And stalling out Terence Crawford even further, giving him time to do something while Canelo Alverez is, whether or not he gets through Charlo. So is this what we would have been looking at if Canelo would have said yes? Where would that have left Bud Crawford? Would that have left Bud Crawford to have to deal with Keith Thurman in the WBO? Is this the reason that Keith is now coming up through the WBO? Because if PBC can't get the fight with Earl in Terence, they're going to get Terence one way or another, maybe with Keith. I don't see anybody in the top 3 of the WBO raising their hand talking about send me the Mando paperwork. I don't see it, fight fans. So my question is, what will we be looking at? I don't believe for a half of a second that they would have done the Terence Crawford fight knowing that Canelo fight is on the table. Hell no. They wouldn't have risked it. If Bud would have beat that man, they would have took millions of dollars off the table. Hell nah, they wouldn't have moved that way. And y'all all know it. Y'all all know it. So they had basically no regard whatsoever for the Terence Crawford fight. They've told us on many occasions. They've showed us now on different occasions. They showed me years ago when Earl went and fought Little Mike instead of fighting Bud then. I knew since then. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, y'all can catch up, but I already was hip. Where the hell would we have been, fight fans? You see what I'm saying? And this honestly, man, this news coming out, like I said, man, I hope we do get the fight and I hope everything works out the way things need to work out, fight fans. But I got to tell you, man, it's clear as day. The suits don't want it. They're forced into a corner. If they have to make it, then that means they have no choice. I do want to believe that maybe Errol Spence Jr. is telling them, like, hey, look, man, I don't care about none of that stuff, man. Like, do what I'm asking y'all to do. I want to believe that he's that dude that's doing that. I do. But every time I go down that road of believing that maybe he's a stand-up guy and he's telling the suits that y'all not going to block my legacy and y'all not going to shut down this fight, because I'm one of the last remaining stars over here. I look around, I see me and Tank. Who else y'all got? You going to do what I asked you to do, Al. I love you, man, and you stood with me, but you going to do what I asked you to do, bro. I want to believe he's that guy. I know a lot of y'all think he might be that. I want to believe he's that guy. But every time I go down that road of believing that he is that guy, I got to say, well, he came to Canelo's fight. I got to say, he said that my kids don't eat belts. And it makes me go, well, you got to believe who he actually is, man. Man, he's telling you he was for the money. You seen him go to Canelo's fight. I'm almost starting to believe the reason he went to Bud and Porter's fight because he was hoping that Porter won. And maybe even called out Sean Porter right there that night. Maybe. The same thing that we got similar to like when Manny Pacquiao went to hear him and Mikey's fight. Remember? And Mikey did, and Pacquiao was honestly hoping that Mikey won because he didn't really want to get in the ring that night. It was something like that maybe going on between the Bud and Porter fight. Because he ran out of there so fast. Maybe he was there to see if Porter won. And when he seen that Porter wasn't going to win or had no chance on winning because he got stopped for the first time in his career, maybe that made him go, well, there's nothing to see here. I was hoping that Sean could have pulled it out. Then I could have been here laughing. Then I could have challenged Sean for a rematch. Because everybody thought that our fight was so close and so action-packed and yada, yada, yada. We all know that Spence Nation would have ate it up like Scooby Snacks. Was he there hoping that Sean won? I don't want to believe that, though. I believe that y'all say that Errol Spence is a stand-up guy and he is here. He's telling PBC what they have to do. They attempted the Canelo thing, whatever the case may be. People say, man, it's not a duck. How can it be a duck? It is a fucking duck. It's a damn duck. It's Daffy Duck. It's Donald damn Duck. It's a duck. How the hell is it a duck, bro? He's fighting Canelo. You tripping, bro. A, you draining Canelo. That's A. B, I don't believe in these no harm, no foul fights. Miss me with your no harm, no foul fights. You can have your no harm, no foul fights. Meaning that if I lose, hell, I still win because I got a big bag of money and I still got world titles down at 147. And I'm supposed to lose. No harm, no foul. I'm not a fan of no harm, no foul fights. I'm not a fan. Not a fan, fight fans. Hold on one second. I don't want my audio peaking too much. But I'm not a fan of the no harm, no foul bull crap. This dare to be great stuff. Yeah, it's cool in certain situations, but damn sure not this one. And who knows? Maybe, post this fight, I don't give a damn what they do. All of this stuff is on the table. Hell, maybe even 3-4 years ago, some of this stuff was on the table. But as of today, May 5th, 2022, I think ain't shit on the table. Ain't nothing on the table but this fight. Canelo it is embarrassing. It is literally embarrassing that Canelo Alverez got to come out in recent interviews and say, well, I don't need that. Why would I do something like that? That's some desperate shit. I'm Canelo. Like, I'm making more money in who I'm fighting. Why the hell do I need that? Why do I got to do some circus shit? Why do I got to do some dare to be great type stuff? I don't need that. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. One of the things that I got to give Canelo credit for is that he is setting things straight. He's setting things straight with the 68 pounders, telling them to fight each other. The only one that's taking heat is David Benavidez. He's taking heat on that. He's setting it straight with that, making them dudes, look, I'm going to remove myself. I'm going to go over here somewhere and do something else while y'all work it out. I actually appreciate that. And it's almost like he's saying that with this damn fight. Like, why y'all bothering me? When Earl went to his fight, did Canelo seem thrilled to see Earl? I heard Eddie Reynoso in recent interviews say, yeah, we'll fight Earl Spence some time down the line, a couple years down the line. Yeah, maybe that'll be a great fight down a couple years. In a couple years. That's some little, he's sunning you. He's telling you to go over there somewhere. We ain't dealing with that right now. That's some if we take a couple losses and we need to get some money type shit. But other than that, we ain't doing that right now. We thinking about some bigger shit. That's some mediocre shit. I keep telling Spence fans, y'all so hooked on mediocre, man. Canelo don't want to do that mediocre shit. Y'all ain't gonna drag Canelo into your mediocre world. Canelo is trying to do great things. He's challenging himself against a damn good fighter in Dmitry Bivol. The man ran for undisputed. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about Charlos and Benavidez's and shit. Like, y'all want him to come and fight a 47-pounder. Just because Earl can go and fight Little Mike don't mean that everybody subscribe from that shit. Y'all got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? There's actual fighters out here. They don't subscribe from all of this crap. So everybody that's throwing all of your confetti, oh, Canelo and Earl could have been this. It could have been that. Man, y'all are tripping. Y'all are falling for the flashlight on the wall trick. Y'all so y'all get deflected so easy. Stay focused, Spence Nation. This is why Tom Brown let the shit out from the jump. He let it out because he knew how y'all were going to react. He knew y'all were going to take this and go against Canelo instead of worrying about the Terence Crawford and Earl fight. They get y'all attention so easy. They say Canelo, Canelo, oh my God, we can get the Canelo. They can get Earl and Canelo, yeah, Earl and Canelo. Earl. It's like We've been talking 5 years straight for the Crawford fight. But y'all now all of a sudden turned up for Canelo? Man, what kind of lame? You know what? It's the same thing though we seen with Lil Mike. It's the same thing. It's Little Mike S all over again. The only difference, fight fans, the only difference is like right there. Hold on, let me hide my camera. Right there, what you see on the screen. And those words right there, and that is, did Canelo save the fight? That is a shame. It is embarrassing. Y'all got Canelo walking around here sunning shit. Looking at y'all like, what the hell are y'all doing bothering me for? I got 3 fights ahead of me. Canelo told them peoples a few months ago, I'm busy. I got things lined up. I got things to do. I'm making almost $200 million over here. I got big business flying, and y'all keep just tapping me on the shoulder. I'm busy. Damn, Charlo, look, man, I'm busy, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, go fight David Benavidez. Go fight Andre. I'm busy. Earl, how about you go to Terence Crawford's fights? Go to his fights. I'm busy. Why are you bothering me? Why are you coming in my fight and I'm 2-3 weight classes up from you? I'm busy. Don't you get it? I am busy. Leave me the fuck alone. I got fights. Canelo don't need fights. He don't need deals. Make your own damn lane. Everybody wants to take shortcuts. Nobody don't want to risk shit. I got Charlo fighting Mystical Selecki or whatever. I got Charlo fighting Mystical Selecki, killing time, doing nothing. Nobody want to step in the ring with David Benavidez. So he got to go and knock out David Lemieux. And Caleb Plant, Mr. Fragile Man, well, I don't know. He got to get a get back. Nobody ain't fighting each other. Demetrius Andrade is injured now. He don't know what he's going to do for his next fight. This is embarrassing. This Canelo sweepstakes stuff have to stop. Say that shit fast 3 times. It has to stop. Look at each other. My goodness, PBC. And this is nothing on the fighters. I'm trying to keep Earl in the green zone. I'm more so pissed off at PBC because this to me just reeks of PBC. Earl just to me gonna roll. If somebody walk up to Earl and say, here's a check for $15-20 million, do you want to fight Canelo Alverez? What the hell you think he gonna say? But the problem I have is the people that's proposing the damn check. That's the problem that I got. Oh, well, man, you got to look at it from a business. I don't have to look at anything when we're talking about a 5-year buildup. I don't have to look at anything. All I need to look at is this damn fight. That's it. I don't have to look at anything. I don't have to understand nothing. There's nothing to understand if we're not talking about Spence and Crawford. There's no daylight. There's no pause. There's no buts. There's no, well, if. None of that. There's nothing. There's boots in us. That's what there is. There's boots in us. So I don't want to hear nothing about your business talk. Don't try to make it make sense to me because of how much money is involved. I got Canelo Alvarez saying, go play somewhere. I'm busy. I'll see you in a couple years or something. That's some sunning shit. Like Mike Tyson said, man, y'all got me around here calling this dude the Mexican monster. We got to give these props to Canelo and David Benavidez and shit because guess why? Look what everybody else is doing. That's why we got to get with. You think I'm happy to sit up on here and say, well, yeah, Canelo that? Hell no. The fact is, though, if everybody else is going to act this way, if all of the fighters are going to keep kissing his ass, if the Charlo cheerleaders are going to keep smacking their pom-poms, if Earl going to keep going to his fights, if PBC going to come keep sending him, finding them all of this money, and they can't find half of that for this fight, I mean, come on. It's insane, fight fans. It is insane. It really is. So, once again, before I move on, did Canelo Alvarez save this fight? Because if he would have said yes, we would have been nowhere near this fight. I don't care what none of y'all say. Oh, they would have slipped Terence Crawford in there somewhere. Where? Where would they put little Omaha? Where would they would have put little Omaha Crawford at? Huh? Risk him knocking over the Canelo and Errol fight. Where would they have put little Omaha at? I'll tell you where they would have put him at. In front of Keith Thurman. In front of your Danis Ugas, maybe. Or maybe even in front of a Adrian Brono or something. That's where he would have ended up at. He would have been another moneymaker. He would have been just in the workforce, just like the rest of them. But we'll see. We'll see. So did Canelo save this fight, fight fans? Did Canelo save this fight? Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to some of the news that's going on. Let me get some comments in, man. Then I'm going to move on forward. Salute to everybody that's up in the building, man. Hit that thumbs up for the homie, man. Salute to y'all all, fam. Salute to you all. You know what I'm saying? Let me go. Salah Farah says, hey, Canelo would not have taken this fight if he wasn't sure that he would win. But I think that he may have been baited this time around. And I'm taking Bivol in this one by UD or Canelo by robbery. You know what? I'm with you. I think there is some things that they are overlooking with Dmitry Bivol. They may see some similarities from Canelo's previous opponents, like his movement and some of the similarities in the way he fights. But there's a lot of other things that you can't overlook neither. You can't overlook that this guy's tough. You can't overlook that this guy's young and he has a tank. Canelo normally comes on to a lot of guys later in the second half of fights when they start to slow down. Bivol don't just slow down after 4 or 5 rounds. This ain't Billy Joe Saunders where he got to take half of the fight and slow. No. Or Caleb Plant, who's fragile and he got to slow down through the body shots. No. Dmitry Bivol goes much longer and perhaps much deeper into a fight than anyone that Canelo perhaps has ever faced since Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara broke down in the second half of that fight, right? Because of all of that activity and everything that he had to do to get those rounds in the bank early on. And that's something that may even trouble Bivol to a certain degree, but also a major difference between Bivol and a lot of Canelo's previous opponents. He's not as active, meaning he's not running around the ring, skipping around the ring. He's a subtle movement guy. He's a take a scoot here, a scoot there type of guy. As for like Erislandy Lara, who was meet me here, walk you over here, meet you there, walk you over here, meet you there. Nah, that ain't Bivol. Bivol is he's going to give you a good reactionary space, but he ain't a scooter. You get me? He ain't a Billy Joe Saunders neither, where it's moving, always moving and not sitting on nothing. That's not Dmitry Bivol. If that is your impression of Dmitry Bivol, then you are wrong. You are wrong. Let's move on, though, fight fans. Oh, let me get a couple more comments. Hey, salute to Leroy Smith on deck. What's up, Leroy? What's up, man? What's going down, man? Chilling. Last of a Dime Breeze says, Bivol got a good 1-2, but then what? He got a good 1-2. I also think that he puts together combinations just well in general. You know what I'm saying? He's not a pot shot artist. He's not a dude that leave punches out there too long. He's pretty crisp, pretty precise with his punching. And he's real calculated, unlike a lot of guys. He doesn't divvy away from the game plan when he's under duress. You know what I'm saying? But there is some things, and I haven't gotten there yet, fight fan. There is some things that worry me about Bivol, but I really think that Bivol's going to give perhaps maybe one of the most valiant efforts that you've ever seen against Canelo Alverez. I truly believe that Bivol will give him the hardest challenge since Lara. I know a lot of y'all look at Gennady Golovkin. I always say since Lara. Because Lara presented in a Rubik's Cube to Canelo that he had to solve in that ring. As for Gennady Golovkin, he's right there. He's straight up and down, no special effects. Bivol is another guy that you're going to have to solve to beat. And I believe that Canelo, it's not going to be the typical let him waste 3 rounds, 4 rounds, come forward, barely swinging, letting Bivol do all of that activity just so he can get up under the punches and lay the hard punches. I don't think it's going to play out that way, fight fans. I know we've seen it over and over again, especially against a lot of European fighters. But I just don't think we're getting that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think we're going to get that. I just don't think we're going to get that. Hey, what's up, my main man? Supreme Beast Boxing Talk is on deck. What's up, Cadillac? What's up, champ? Salute to my homie Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. Y'all go check them out, fight fans. Hey, man, bringing you boxing in an entertaining way. That's my main mans in them right there, man. Love every show, fam. Much love to my main man, Supreme Beast Boxing Talk in the house. You know what I'm saying? Renee Box Young, that's another one, man. Hey, what's up, Renee Box Young? Salute to Mexico, bro. What's up with you, man? And y'all definitely go check out Renee. You know, that's fam right there. Yeah, man, what's up with you? Not Zay in the house. What's up, Not? He says, Canelo crushes Errol. Why would he fight, dude? Yeah, you know, I don't understand that, man. It's a money grab. It's a pure PBC money grab. That's all it is, bro. It's nothing more to it than that, man. It's to me, it's a pure PBC money grab. I mean, they don't give a damn about Errol Spence Jr. It's a cash in. Like, if Errol loses, he's never the same again. Thrown all out of whack, then what? It's the same shit that happened to Adrian Bronner, fight fans. Oh, man. Every time I'm about to move on, let me just tell y'all, man. Remember the Adrian Bronner story when PBC got too greedy. Y'all not hearing me. I know suspense fans. He's indestructible. He's so great. He's pumping up the volume. So y'all think that everything is just on the up and up. Nah, man. You move him out his weight class. You take him somewhere and get him beat in a different fashion that can mess him up. That can be the worst thing that ever happened to Errol Spence. Come back down, never be the same. How many times have we seen this play out over and over and over again? So y'all need to stop, you know, all money ain't good money. PBC don't give a damn. I always ask this question, and I'm a Crawford fan, but I got a lot of love for Errol. And I'm one of the ones that actually got genuine love for him. It's not just rah shit. Genuine love for the man. I always ask, what does Errol feel about these decisions? How does he feel about these things? Is he okay with just letting the biggest fight in the world walk out, his legacy fight walk out the back door? He's happy with just 3 belts? For real? He would be happy with that? How does he feel about it? What about him? Throwing him to the wolves up there because Canelo fight is a big fight? That's what they did to Adrian Bronner when they threw him in there with Marcos Maidana. And it messed him all up. Y'all better get hip, man. Y'all better get hip, man. Y'all better get hip, man. And see, I'm just saying, man, no one cares about Errol, man. They know, and see, I'm going to tell you something, another thing about PBC, and before I move this on, man. One more thing, fight fans, and that is this. Y'all may not hear me on this. Y'all may not hear me on this, but I'm telling y'all what I know. They not 100 that Errol can beat Terence Crawford. They're not 100 on that. They're not sure that Errol can actually do this. That's why the right time never shows up. You know what I'm saying? We hoping it's now. But that's why over the years it never showed. They never thought that he can beat him. I'm going to say this real quick. And to the debaters and the breakdowners, you take this and apply it. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. Let me give you something to think about. Just a small piece of the golden envelope that I keep in here. Here's the thing, and I've said this before on live streams, but one of the most epic things, one of the most happiest nights is when I seen Errol Spence defeat your Danis Ugas. I thought that was beautiful, and I was smiling from ear to ear. What did I do? I came on here, I told everybody, I said, oh my God, this is great. Your man out here throwing the volume punching, and he's intense again. Pump up the volume. That's all I kept saying. Pump it up more. That's what we want. Y'all ain't hearing me, man. I listen to all of these breakdowns and I laugh. I say to myself, this is exactly where Terence Crawford want to be. This is exactly where he want to be. You want people to think that turning it up, the intensity, all of the punching, not giving you the opportunity to think is what they say. You want all them people to, including Derrick James, especially Derrick James. You want them to believe that to be absolutely true. And you want that Errol Spence. Hear me, fight fans. See, y'all got to understand something. I've always said this. I don't want Earl from Little Mike fight. I don't want Earl from the Danny fight. I want the Earl from the Chris Van Herdens and what he did to Leonard Bundu and what he did to Yadanis Ugas and all of that volume, the Shag. You know, man, bring that ugly ass Shag back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we want to see the ugly ass Shag. We want Shag Earl. We want Shaggy Doo. That's who we want. That's the Earl that's going to get beat. Let me ask a simple question, because I'm not going to go too much into the breakdown because I got other things to talk about. But I'm just going to put this out there. A lot of people come, matter of fact, hold up. Let me get back in front of y'all because I want y'all to see me on this one. All right. I get a lot of fam that come through, right? They say, yo, main man. Every time I get into the debates with the Spence fam, they say, yo, main man, your Danish Ugas beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs 2 times. I go, wow, you're right. They say, yo, main man, Kell Brook was outboxing Terence Crawford in the early rounds. I go back, I say, damn, look at Kell, man. Kell doing this thing, you right. I look at Jose Benavidez, and he was giving Terence Crawford a lot of troubles through a lot of rounds. And so Charles Crawford had to make that proper adjustment to get that victory, right? Man. They say Yorkis Gamboa. He hurt Terence Crawford, main man. They say Aegis Kalvalauskis. He hurt Terence Crawford also, main man. And if all of these dudes can do it, then of course, what do you think that Earl is going to do? And then I sit and I think and I say, well, let me see. Yadanis Ugas, who beat Terence twice in the amateurs, does he fight like Earl? Does he throw a bunch of punches and zillion punches like Earl? No. And he gave Crawford trouble. Jose Benavidez had one leg. He couldn't move. He had to be a tactician. He had to box his way through that fight and use his right hand as much as possible, right, in his length. I asked, and I said, did that trouble Crawford? I said, does Earl fight that way? No. Sean Porter, in the early portions of their fight, some people say the judges had Porter up. They had Porter up. And then I said, well, in that early part of the fight, does Earl fight the way that Porter was fighting? No. It turns out to me, when I actually flip this around on the other side, I see boxers and calculated guys giving my man Bud something to think about. Because Bud got to think, he got to adjust, he got to make the proper adjustments. He got to keep his defense tight. He got to try to keep this going. There's a lot going on when you're dealing with a chess match. But when the intensity increases on these fighters, I think y'all know where I'm going with this. When Sean Porter got too big for his britches and tried to turn up the heat, what happened? Aegis Kalvalauskis supposedly hurt Terence Crawford, right? And Aegis started to get a little bit more reckless and a little bit more aggressive as well. What eventually happened? They say Jeff Horn was a bully, and he was so intense and dirty, and he went in there throwing all of these punches, hitting Pacquiao everywhere. He's an intense fighter. He's a bully. What the hell happened to the intense bully? People wonder why Julius Ndongo got annihilated so easy. Last I checked, Julius Ndongo comes from Africa, right? In that part of the world where he was trained, they are nothing but aggressive fighters. They throw punches and bunches. Y'all know that. Well, Julius Ndongo fought that way against Crawford. It didn't get him far. And like I always say, Sean Porter, when he turned up the intensity, it got him on his ass. One of the biggest misconceptions about Terence Crawford, fight fans, is that he's a perfect fighter. Is that he is a tactician. is that he is the next coming of Sugar Ray Robinson. If that's who you think Terence Crawford is, you are wrong. That's not who Terence Crawford is. Terence Crawford ain't pretty. He does get hit. He does get touched at times. Because you know why? Terence Crawford is not just a boxer. He's a fighter. Meaning that he needs your intensity. He needs you to turn him into a fighter. He likes to fight. When you go to the realm of fighting and you want to be intense, you make him become intense. And then he's in a more comfortable space in that kind of fight than he is in the chess matches. The second that Errol comes in there with that intense shit, it's going to get him clipped and it's going to get him knocked the fuck out. Errol Spence Jr. is tailor-made. Errol Spence Jr. is tailor-made, fight fans. I mean, down to the cuff link. He is tailor-made for Terence Crawford, and they know it. And they know it. So the more punches, the more mistakes. The later the fight gets, the wider those mistakes appear. That's where Terence Crawford takes his opportunities. When you overly punch and you're comfortable being a fighter, then he lets you know why you're not a better fighter than he is. You might be a better boxer. You might can box your ass off. Yordenis Ugas is a hell of a boxer. But he can't fight. That's the problem. So when your boy pump up the damn volume, he gonna get hit between punches like Latte did. But the only difference is that this man hits 2 times, 3 times as hard as Emmanuel Latte. I'm telling you what I know, and they know. That volume shit don't mean nothing. That's the fighter you want. That guy that feels comfortable walking through the front. That guy that feel like it's all in his fight and everything is going to do. Mistakes happen. And this is the one that you don't want to make one mistake against. We hoping for a 1,000 punch fight. 1,200 punches. I'm hoping for some shit like that. Because that gives more and more room. More and more room for mistakes. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. So, and just think about it, though. Everybody that was intense, they got stopped. But everybody that was more calculated towards Crawford, well, they hung with him. Gave him some moments. Which one will Earl do? Riddle me that. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. All right, fight fans, if you can give me just give me a minute to take a swig of water real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'd appreciate it. And I'll be right back with y'all in less than 13 seconds. Give me 30 seconds, fight fans. 30 seconds. All right, we back with the next one, fight fans. So then I supposed to been starting off light and didn't getting heavy as the fight moves on, you know, as the show moves on, you know what I'm saying? So we'll get to that Canelo Bivol talk in just a second, but let me make a pit stop right here, fight fans. I know y'all been seeing the news, and you know we're a week away or so. Next weekend, it's supposed to be Floyd Mayweather's big exhibition in Dubai, fight fans. Now, one thing that I'm noticing is Where the hell is the buzz? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you right now, there was a point in time, fight fans. Hold on, let me turn this down some. Sorry about that. There was a point in time where if Floyd Mayweather did anything, man, it was front page news. Everybody was talking about it. I mean, it was the biggest thing around us. It didn't matter. There was a point in time where Floyd Mayweather could have announced that he was coming back to fight a kangaroo. And everybody would have been like, oh my, it's Floyd, it's Floyd, it's Floyd, it's Floyd-esque. Stories would have been coming left and right. Will he fight this guy? Maybe he stays around and fight that guy. Like, it would be everywhere. And, you know, Floyd has announced this a couple weeks ago. And matter of fact, he announced it on the same day as the Tank Davis and Rolly Romero fight, remember? And people were mad at Floyd because Floyd did not attend Tank Davis's press conference, and he's supposed to be the damn promoter. Floyd Mayweather then came out and stated that, hey, man, hey, I was getting paid $1 million to be there. So, you know, if I'm paid $1 million to be there, I got to be there. But I wish them nothing but the best. And, you know, there's news circulating about Gervonta Davis possibly on this last fight with Floyd and all of this stuff. Maybe fans are a little upset that Floyd did that. Maybe fans is just like, dog, we sick and tired of your stuff, bro. You should have let the young boy shine, man. You shouldn't have had to mock your press conference that day. You Floyd, you could have told him, hey, I got fighters having a press conference that day. Let's do our press conference the next week or 2 days from now. You say, you know, if they're paying you $1 million to be at a press conference, that means that you're in demand. That means that you can tell them, hey, not today, but we'll do it in 2 days. Whatever the case may be. But either way you slice it, Floyd says he's going to be at the fight. And it honestly still breaks my heart, fight fans, to see that him and Tank are still kind of going through whatever they went through. You know what I'm saying? And to see Tank Davis bigging up Canelo the way he been doing, and you knowing that that's Floyd's like main like dude, like he trying his best to not let Canelo rise above everybody else. But Tank Davis is saying that that's his favorite fighter. He putting his gloves on. I mean, Tank really much just don't like Floyd, man. He don't see things, say, my way. Where I think that they're the most powerful duo in boxing. Maybe I just think it's it has to be financial. You can't tell me that Tank don't like the position that he was put in. And you can't tell me he doesn't like everything that came with being under Floyd. So I just think there's more to the story maybe that we just don't know about, because it's just like it don't make no damn sense. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, fight fans. So this man's fight is next week, and it's like no buzz at all for this thing, right? No one's talking about it. No one's mentioning it. But here's the thing. Now let me go to my screen share real quick. And my question that I want to ask y'all, because at one time, you know, Floyd is all about the cameras and people accepting him and everything like that. Do Floyd really give a damn that there's no buzz for this fight? Floyd's name is Money. He calls himself Floyd Money Mayweather. So as long as money is involved, do Floyd really give a damn who's there, who's not, who sees it, who doesn't? There's news out today, fight fans, that this event will now be shown on Fight TV. And from what I'm understanding, the price is supposed to be increasing to like $30. But it's going to be now put on Fight TV, a more reputable broadcaster. But once again, does Floyd really give a damn? The reason I asked, does Floyd give a damn, fight fans? And the money is already in the bag. So if he says he got $1 million just to be at the press conference, what about this? What about the fact that there's news out of the seats for the Floyd Mayweather fight are going to be running for $100,000 per ticket? Now, we all know that this fight is happening in Dubai, right? So it's going down in Dubai. Hold on. It's going down in Dubai on the top of a helipad, on some top of some famous hotel or something like that. But anyway, we're talking about $100,000 tickets. And we know that Anderson Silva is also going to be on the he's going to be on the undercard. So the point I'm making, fight fans, is why would Floyd give a damn if there's no buzz, if nobody's talking about this fight or anything, when each ticket is worth $100,000. It's gonna be a bunch of rich little Dubois oil people up in that joint. $100,000 per ticket. That's got to be some type of like record or something. This is why he ain't tripping off no buzz. This is why you don't see Floyd Mayweather running around and oh, watch my fight and this, that, and the third. Because each ticket is worth $100,000. So here's my question. If you got all of these rich dudes going to be there, and for those who don't know, as you can see from the report, Money is set to face his former sparring partner, Don Moore. His former sparring partner. So he going to have all of these rich people at the, here it is right here, at the Burj El Arab Hotel in Dubai on May 14th. He going to have all of these rich folks sitting around him paying $100,000 a ticket just to watch him fight his sparring partner? This is crazy. This is crazy. That's crazy. Now, this is when Anthony Joshua did it. I remember this. Remember he had the little commercial and everything? That's when Anthony Joshua did it. And so, also, we know once again that Anderson Silva, former MMA legend, Anderson Silva will be on the undercard. So, my question is this. Is Floyd's new scheme, because he's already went through the Paul brothers, right? Is Floyd's new scheme to do this exhibition just to line up a possible fight with Anderson Silva? I mean, with all of these sheiks and stuff sitting around, $100,000 a ticket or whoever, all of these rich folks, you must be talking about facing Anderson Silva next. Let me see something. Let's read a little bit of this. According to Anderson Silva, he says, and I quote, "I don't know if I can fight on the same level as Mayweather, but this is a challenge for me. I don't know. Maybe this happens or not. I'm prepared for that. I just try to do my best every day, and I think this is a good fight. Me and Mayweather. Two big names and a different level. I have got to try to prove why I'm there to fight with Mayweather. I don't know if this happens or not, but I'm prepared for a good challenge for myself." That's Anderson Silva, fight fans. Is this going to be the next one? Is this going to be the next one? That's crazy. That's crazy. Let me see here. Hold on, I just want to see if they got it. Is this the end of the article? That's the end of the article. Oh, no, here it is. Okay, here you go right here. Check this out, fight fans. Ringside seats for the one-of-a-kind event on a helipad are extremely limited, and as a result have been priced at $100,000 each, which is around 799,000 pounds. What? $100,000 a ticket? $100,000 a ticket. Bro, I don't give a damn. Look, bro, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. You can go and find, you can have Muhammad Ali versus Sugar Ray Robinson come to in modern $100,000 a ticket. That's crazy. But only Floyd can do something like that. That's some bullshit. It's one thing to say, okay, yeah, Canelo getting 50-something plus $1 million deals, but Floyd Mayweather is still doing fights in his retirement where he's charging $100,000 a ticket. Who can still do that? Bam. Now, this article is saying that the pay-per-view through Fight TV will be $14.99 for U.S. viewers, but there's some updated news about this that said that this price has now increased to $29.99. If both Mayweather and Silva are victorious on May 14th, the former UFC fighter may get the chance to test his skills against TBE. So if these dudes paying $100,000 a ticket to see Floyd do a sparring match, and he also got Badu Jack on the undercard, which is he getting his whole crew paid. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at that. Getting his whole crew paid. But if they willing to pay $100,000 to see him fight Don Moore, how much are they gonna pay for him and Silva? That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. I don't care what nobody say, fight fans. I got to give Floyd Mayweather his credit for that one, bro. $100,000 a ticket. Now, you know you damn well you couldn't do that over here. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, ain't no buzz for this thing over here. Ain't no way in hell that nobody would have paid $100,000 a ticket for Floyd over here. But you found some people to do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't mad at them. But damn, fight fans. Canelo eat your heart out, bro. And you got to understand something why this is so big. Because the man is literally retired. And he ain't really even fighting nobody. But he's still charging Bama's $100,000 a ticket. His whole crew about to eat. Don Moore about to eat. Badu Jack about to eat. His whole little crew about to eat. They over in Dubai getting their oil money. And y'all gonna say he wrong? I know y'all be mad about Floyd. I know y'all hate to hear it. But Canelo, eat your heart out on that shit. I don't give a damn what y'all say. Eat your heart out. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, though, fam. Let's move on. Salute to Floyd, man. Salute to Floyd. All right, what about this news that came out earlier this week, man? This one kind of broke my heart, man. Demetrius Knucklehead Andrade. Here we go again. I mean, look, I don't know, man. I don't know. Y'all heard the news, fight fans. Demetrius Andrade's upcoming fight that was scheduled between him and Zach Parker has now been canceled. Turns out Demetrius Andrade supposedly got a shoulder injury in sparring. And looked like that Demetrius Andrade won't make the fight. You know what I'm saying? For those who've missed this, I'm sure most of y'all have seen it. We'll look at it, just a little bit of reporting on this. Salute to Jake Donovan over at Boxing Scene. Demetrius Andrade has hit another bump in the road. An untimely shoulder injury recently suffered in training camp has forced the unbeaten two-division titleist to cause a delay. Not a cancel, fight fans, a delay in his scheduled interim WBO super middleweight title fight with Zach Parker. The bout was due to take place May 21st at Pride Park in Parker's home region of Derby, England. Now, we know that this is a fight that Demetrius Andrade was going to be moving up to 168 pounds to face Zach Parker, and possibly the winner of this, who have the interim WBO belt, would have possibly became the mandatory to Canelo Alverez. But we know that just because somebody win the mandatory doesn't mean that Canelo is going to listen to that shit. Canelo going to still do what Canelo going to do. Canelo ain't going to let no sanctioning body tell him nothing. And you know he don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. He got nursery rhymes out here. Payday, you want payday. He don't want to fight him. He says he's a terrible fighter. He says that Andrade is fought no one. He ain't facing Demetrius Andrade. I don't think it's right, but that's Canelo. That's what he doing. And as long as these boys are still sitting around watching Canelo, whatever. I want to see them fight each other. So at the end of the day, a lot of people were looking forward to this Zach Parker fight. They thought that Zach may prove to be a formidable opponent for Demetrius Andrade. I covered this fight in recent videos, and Zach Parker's people came out on that video and was like, hey, they think that he had enough to give Andrade some problems, and he's been getting better and better every fight. I'm going to say this, though, man. You know, Frank Warren, Zach Parker's promoter, won the purse bid for this particular thing right here, right? So they won this fight. They were going to be promoting Demetrius Andrade, and we know that Eddie Hearn is now basically washing his hands with Demetrius Andrade. He ain't got nothing to offer Demetrius Andrade, and he knows it. He can't get Andrade no fights. All he's doing is spending money on Andrade, yet he can't line up none of the big fights, even though they are underneath the banner of Eddie Hearn. He couldn't line up Gennady Golovkin. He could not line up Canelo Alvarez. Hell, he didn't even try to maybe get a Chris Eubank. Nothing. He couldn't get nothing. Couldn't get Jaime Munguia. Nothing. Couldn't get Charlo. So Eddie Hearn, I guess, tired of being embarrassed, tired of looking like, you know, because Demetrius Andrade was a bad thing for Eddie Hearn. It made his reputation look bad because he couldn't deliver. He washed his hands of Andrade. People look at this and say, well, man, you know, this is Andrade. I'm just so sick of it. Da, 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 da. I want y'all to understand something, though. He ain't really losing shit here. Technically, Andrade maybe was looking at this situation like, okay, I got to go fight on a rival network with a promoter that I've never fought with before in the challenges. Well, they both challenges, but in Zach Parker's backyard. Now, I'm not saying that Andre didn't actually get hurt. He could have just be hurt and they just delaying it. They're going to push it down a few weeks and no harm, no foul. But I'm just saying, if he lost this fight, he ain't losing shit. What is he losing? He goes and beats Zach Parker, it gets him nothing. It get him nothing. It ain't like he ducking a Charlo or somebody with a name. This is Zach Parker they people talking about. So I get it. People might want to see the fight, but this fight is extremely high risk, low reward for Demetrius Andre. Now, we know that he also has that situation playing out down at 160 pounds, where he still currently is the WBO champion. But however, that Aleem Canelo dude, well, he's fighting. He was supposed to be Demetrius Andre's mandatory, but he has an upcoming fight now, and they're going to be fighting for the interim spot down there. And if Andre doesn't make a decision after that fight is over, or after his Zach Parker fight, he can either be stripped of that title, or he can go back down and defend it. Either way you slice it, I don't think that Andre was happy at the fight at 60, and he ain't happy with the fight at 68. Neither fight, honestly, did nothing for him. Let's call it for what it is. Fight. They were tough fights. Yeah, they were tough fights. Maybe that Aleem Canelo fight, but I think he would have beat Zach Parker. But either way, they probably somewhat tough fights or tough scraps. But does Demetrius Andre want that at this point in his career? Does he want tough scraps with people that nobody know? Other fighters making their names off of him? Like they making their names off of him. If these fighters go in there and give a decent showing against Demetrius Andre, they got a name in their country. Frank Warren knows that. Frank Warren knows if Zach Parker goes in there, even if he loses to Demetrius Andre, let's say this fight goes to a split decision. Well, Zach Parker gonna come out looking good. The country gonna be like, well, you gave it your all. You gave it a great, valiant effort against the great Demetrius Andre. And Andre don't win in that situation. He don't win shit. He ain't gonna get the Canelo fight. We all know that. Winning the WBO interim championship at 168 does absolutely nothing for Demetrius Andre. The only time that served a purpose for him is when Billy Joe Saunders had that belt. Now, when Billy Joe had that belt, it was more like, okay, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't got the damn belt, bro. Like, it don't really matter. Oh, sorry about this fight, fam. I always do this. Hold on. Let me transition this over. I thought I had the article right here. I thought y'all was reading with me. Y'all are now. So, that's what I was saying. This is what I was just reading right here, fight fans. So, I mean, like I said, man, I just think that even if he doesn't get this fight, it's like whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Demetrius Andre don't have a home. He don't got a promoter, and he don't have a network. He's basically running on free agent. There's some talks about maybe him and David Benavidez. Maybe Demetrius Andre is like, you know what, screw all of this. Maybe I get the David Benavidez fight. Maybe he's killing time and say, screw all of this. Maybe if I kill some time, maybe Jaime Munguia will wake the hell up and maybe one give me a shot. And that's a good fight. That's a big name fight for Demetrius Andre. See, Andre don't need tough scraps at this point. Andre needs meaningful fights. You got to hear me, fight fans. Andre needs meaningful fights because the kind of fighter that he is, where he relies a lot on his physical attributes, his movement, his legs, his youthful abilities, his reflexes. These are the things that make Andre Andre. And if he keep getting into these wars and these tough scraps or whatever with these no-name fighters, that don't do nothing for Demetrius Andre, man. So if you want to go to the conspiracy theory and say, well, man, he just didn't want to fight, so what? I'm sorry, fight. If this was someone else, if this was someone worth mentioning, then I would be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, y'all right. Andre, I just don't understand it, bro. Like, but though, this is Zach Parker. He don't want to keep wasting time with these type dudes. We've seen the Parkers and the Keelers and the Peelers and all of this shit. We've seen these kind of fighters. He wants the names. This man is in between two weight classes, 60 and 68, that is flooded with talent. And he ain't got none of them. So if I'm Demetrius Andrade, truth be told, I might be doing some little shenanigans and little maneuvers to try to get up out of certain fights, because it's like I'm wasting my damn time. What, are you going to get a few $100,000 for this shit? It ain't going to be nobody talking about it. Nobody checking for it. The UK, salute to the UK. Y'all turned up about boxing. Y'all may look into this. I mean, to the hardcores, like myself, of course, we going to break down the X's and O's. But at the very least, this does nothing for Demetrius Andrade, unfortunately. So him missing this fight, if he don't get it, hey, look, man, it is what it is. But it just, if you want to ask me, do I believe this excuse? I'm going to say I don't know what to believe when it comes to Demetrius Andrade. I don't know what to believe. Every time we close to something with Andrade, there's always something. I don't know what to believe. All I know is that the fight ain't happening. And I'm going to go by what the public story is. He got a shoulder injury. Whatever. Get the man a fucking fight, man. Before it's too late. It may be already too late. I didn't have a full-fledged, like, evolution with Demetrius Andrade. I started off not trusting him. Couldn't trust him as far as I see him. After we went down back in the day with him and Charlo, can't trust him. After went down back in the day when he was supposed to move up in weight back in the day and he didn't, couldn't trust him. When he gave some excuse, I think, who was it? Was it Golovkin or one of these fighters? And he says that he couldn't fight him because he couldn't pack on enough muscle or some shit like that. I didn't trust him. But then over time, as Andrade starts showing up more and more and more, fighting, popping up, crashing press conferences and showing up to your favorite fighters' little interviews and stuff, going on social media, poking the bears, you know what I'm saying? Rattling some cages, calling out Gennady Golovkin, begging him to come to the zone. When I started to see all of these things, I said, a man doesn't do all of that unless he wants to fight. Running over there to Eddie Hearn. Why did he do that? He should have maybe just went to PBC. It would have made more sense. Running to Eddie Hearn was not a smart move for Demetrius Andrade. I get it. Eddie had that DAZN money in the beginning, tossing around deals. Oh, we got $1 billion. We can do all of these things. I'm going to start Matchroom USA. He signed Daniel Jacobs. Why didn't they never fight? Why didn't we never get an Andrade and Jacobs? Why didn't nobody ever tap Eddie Hearn on the shoulder and say, Eddie Hearn, here's an idea. Why don't you put Demetrius Andrade in with Gabe Rosado? I know people may say, well, main man, Gabe Rosado, for real. Here's the thing. Demetrius Andrade needs an infusion of name recognition. Gabe may not have been the highest caliber fighter, but he has name recognition. That's why Daniel Jacobs fought him. Why he ain't just go get Gabe Rosado, right? Pull Gabe Rosado in. Then after Gabe Rosado, went to Daniel Jacobs and say, I understand y'all two are friends, because they are friends. I understand y'all buddies or whatever, but look, your buddy need a fight. Your buddy needs a check. Your buddy needs his profile raised. Help your buddy out. Matter of fact, Jacobs, you need the same damn thing. How about you two get together, work on something? It ain't got to be personal. It's good for everybody. It would have been good for Eddie. It would have been good for Daniel. And it would have been great for Demetrius. But instead, we got all of these dudes that we never heard of before. But anyway, I hope this thing just getting... So it's... I don't know what's going to happen here. The article is saying, keyword right here, fight fans, delay. Not cancel. Delay. So I want everyone to see that. Delay. According to Frank Warren, he says that it's with great regret that this decision has been made to postpone, fight fans. Keyword, postpone the event until the extent of the injury is fully established. To the extent of the injury is fully established. So if Demetrius Andrade come out and says, well, you know what? I got something wrong with me. I ain't going to be right for the next 8 months. I guess the fight is off. So it's almost like delayed pending Demetrius Andrade. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's all we want right here. They say Mike Coppinger was the first to report it. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Sources himself. Yeah, so okay, this is okay, I thought they were saying who Aleem Corneli was fighting next. It is what it is. We already know this whole story, fight fans. So that's basically it, man. I mean, I hope Demetrius Andrade get it together, man. He just be on some just every time I turn around, he just can't get right with him, man. It's very unfortunate, bro. This dude had a full-fledged career, man. Like, just gone, man. Like, this career is gone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we just never got the full potential of a Demetrius Andrade. You know what I'm saying? We never got that full potential. We never seen that one fight. Matter of fact, like I said, fight fans, the man, honestly, right now, unfortunately, he ain't even got a legacy. He has no legacy fight. He has no rival. He's a bet man with no joker. Canelo didn't want to participate. David said he'll participate, but you're going to have to walk over to PBC to make that happen, Andre. You already know that. PBC is not going to deal with Demetrius Andrade, even as a free agent. They're going to tell him, you better come over here and sign this piece of paper. Something that Andrade, has never done. Maybe he should try it. I think that's the only thing that makes sense for Demetrius Andrade. If he don't want to continue to go down the road that he's going, which is basically obscurity, he don't want to go down the road that he's going, bruh, you gonna have to sign the PBC, man. If they can't, the thing that really makes me so upset about that, though, man, is that, well, they might win. Like, all of these people that ducked them for as long as they have, like, especially, I guess I'm thinking about Jaime Munguia. The second that if Andrade don't make it back down to 60 soon, they're going to take his belt. And guess who they're going to feed it to? I think they're going to feed it right to Jaime Munguia. That's what I think. And if that happens, man, that will be nothing but sad, bruh. Sad, sad, sad. What if, man, I mean, when I first started uploading fight fans, when I first started creating content, I used to get so many comments and just different stuff about how Demetrius Andrade was such a gym killer, a gym rat, and everything under the sun. And just to see him just like not even pan out to do, I can't think back of what is the signature fight. I can't even say what is his signature fight. What is his signature fight? It's bad, fight fans. It's bad. It's bad. Salute to the fan, man. Let me get to some comments, man. I've been running my mouth for a while, man. Let me read some of y'all comments, man. It's terrible, bro. Terrible, man. Terrible. I'm going to scroll on back some. Salute to everybody. Hey, hit that thumbs up for me, man. Hit that thumbs up for me. You know what I'm saying? Damn. So I'm going to go on back a little bit more. Yeah. Raheem. What's up, Raheem? Raheem Gaiman in the building. What's up, champ? He says, yo, Bivol has an educated front hand that gets him to put combos together. He controls his range good with his jab. His jab is active and it's probing. Really, I think it comes down to Bivol's inside game. That's a great point, fam. That and a great breakdown too, might I say. Yeah, you're right. The inside game is going to be super key. And keeping Canelo Alvarez on the outside and keeping him at certain ranges. All of that's going to be key. I do believe that Canelo Alvarez would be the better inside fight. I think that's pretty obvious, fight fans. But keeping him at certain ranges, that is definitely going to be key. That jab is definitely going to be key. I do not suggest probing it, though. I do not suggest probing it. You'll telegraph it. Canelo going to go up under it. Nah. I don't think he should probe, Raheem. I don't think that. I think that's going to get him counted. I don't think he should probe. Nah, I don't think he should probe. Valkyries, what's up, man? He say, salute. How come this fight has no juice if Canelo is the face of boxing? Facts. It has no juice. You right. Now, his people going to show up, bro. Don't get it twisted. His people is definitely going to show up. You know what I'm saying? They, like I said before in a recent video, they're consumers. They're not loudmouths. They're not people that got, it's not a lot of Canelo platforms. You know what I'm saying? His fans are more in the comment sections. They're more actually consumers. They're buyers. They buy the fights. They do that stuff. They're consumers. So, but no, Canelo, he has to be fighting someone more known, I guess you might want to say, more a bit intriguing to a lot of people to get the buzz really buzzing. Like when it's a Billy Joe Saunders, like the UK, they loud. They know who he is. We know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Before that, the rest of them dudes, there was no buzz for Callum Smith. There was no buzz for Avni Yildirim. But I'm sure they sold well. Because it's not about really, Canelo's thing is different. When you have actual consumers, see, the buzz gets started by platforms and media. But platforms and media they get the buzz going. But the people that buy your fight, the consumers, well, that's who he got. And that's just being honest. That's why everyone wants to be in the Canelo business. Because his people buy fights. They buy his gear. They buy his merchandise. And most importantly, they buy his stories. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it is, bro. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But I feel you, Valkyries. And Valkyries, man, what the heck, bro? I'm so glad I can see this type of chat like this because Valkyries is one of my main mans. And Valkyries should have had that blue suit. Valkyries, I don't know if you swap profiles or something, but, bro, why you should definitely have a blue suit. You got it now. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Porter lasted so long because he boxed and pulled back. Spence better not just run at him. Nah, he better not. He better not. He better not just run at him, and that volume and intensity is going to be the Achilles heel. People are looking at that as the plus. That is the minus. I'm going to say that one more time for those who just walked through the door. People are looking at that as a plus. Spence's intensity, his volume punching, that is a minus. That is his biggest minus. He's going to be reduced to a boxer if he's smart. If he's smart. If he's smart, he's little Mikey-esque Earl. Not Sean Porter, not your Danish Ugas Earl. If he's smart. Because if he's your Danish Ugas Earl, the chances of a knockout goes up 100%. I'm telling y'all some real spill, man. I'm telling y'all some real spill. You know what I'm saying? So, Andre, get up off my screen, Holmes. We got to move on to something else. And I want to get this last minor story in before we get to Canelo Bivol. We're going to spend minimal time on this one and then move on forward. It ain't really much. But we've been covering this on the channel. And I want to stay updated with this situation right here. And that is the Shakur Stevenson situation in which Bob Arum has recently came out and gave us a answer as to what the next moves for Shakur Stevenson will be. And I've been asking the question, fight fans here on the channel. And the question that I've been asking is, what is the better route for Shakur Stevenson? Now, we took a look at the boxing rankings, and we see that down at 130 pounds, as good as it gets for Shakur Stevenson is Kenichi Ogawa in the IBF. And Kenichi Ogawa is a fighter that no one's checking for, former PED cheater against my main man, Tevin Farmer. So I ain't got much pluses to say about Kenichi Ogawa, but that's a fight that no one gives a damn about. And over in the WBC, we got Roger Gutierrez, right? Roger Gutierrez, which may be somewhat politically a bit tougher to make, but I'm sure if Bob really wanted it, he can actually get that fight, but no one will be checking for that fight neither. And so my opinion of it was I would like to see him move up to 135, go after Vasyl Lomachenko, end Vasyl Lomachenko, and put himself in position for either the winner of Kambosos and Devin, which will get him undisputed, or put him in a position for maybe a Ryan Garcia, whom Bob Arum has a very good working relationship with Oscar De La Hoya, so that's a very possible thing. Ryan and Shakur, even though Ryan will get wiped out by Shakur. And I don't know if Oscar's ready to put his young prodigy in harm's way right now. But that's a possible fight. Shakur and Tank, it's hard to make, but still, all in the same weight class. And so basically in a nutshell, so Bob Arum came out in recent days. For those who haven't seen it, I'll put it right here on your screen. So hopefully this should work with no problem. Bam. Yeah, that'll be good to go. As you can see, I got Bob Arum's statement right here in the middle of the screen. And according to Bob Arum, he says, and I quote, F being the unified champion. Screw that. There's not a person in this room that knows the WBA champion or the IBF champion. I said the WBA champion. WBA champion or the IBF champion. So who wants to put those fights on? They're not going to draw shit. Then he goes on and says that, okay, that's the end quote. They're not going to draw shit, end quote. So basically he's saying, forget the unified, forget going for undisputed. That's not what it is. It look like I'm going through some buffering here. I want to make sure that I'm good to go. Hold on, fight fans. Hold on. I look like I'm having some minor technical issues. I want to make sure that we're good. Give me a minute, fight fans. Stand by for 1 minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. We'll pick up from right here with Shakur Stevenson and Bob Arum. Give me 1 minute.
You are now listening to Island Beats. You are now listening to Island Beats.
All right, we good to go. We good to go. That's on me, fight fans. Look like just one of my devices that I was looking at the comments on was just basically powering out, you know what I'm saying? So I thought we were having some sort of technical difficulties. I'm trying my best to stay on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes this streaming thing can be a ongoing challenge, fight fans. So, you know what I mean? So I just want to make sure everything good, because I hate when I come back and listen to these episodes and something is off and I didn't went through most of the show, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure that everything is on the up and up, man. Yeah, we good to go. All right, so let's pick up on back where we left off. Now, I was down here talking about Shakur Stevenson and Bob Arum. And like I was telling y'all, fight fans, so Bob Arum basically ain't seeing no reason for Shakur to basically stay at 130 and go for undisputed. Now, I know this might rub some people the wrong way. I know some of us may look at this and say, yo, main man, bro, I think I might have wanted to see him go for that legacy box. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see him check that legacy box of undisputed, especially if you're an older boxing fan. If you're an older dude, you might say, you know what? It only makes sense to go and get that undisputed while you young, and then bam, you can move up and do boom, boom, boom. And see, the one thing that I be trying to get a lot of my older folks to realize is that boxing to a certain extent has changed in a lot of ways. In modern boxing, the belts are becoming less and less relevant to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more about the names. They'll put the names over the belts. We in a time where Rolly Romero versus Tank is a hotter fight than Shakur versus Oscar. We're in a time where Rolly Romero versus Tank Davis will get more buzz. It will sell better. It may even be considered a more significant fight. Why? I don't know, but it would be by a lot of boxing fans. We're in that time. And I think Bob Arum is starting to realize, even himself as an old geezer, like, he don't care about the belts. Because, the fights for those belts ain't going to make no money. Another thing is, Shakur, what would it do for Shakur? Are we really going to be flocking to those fights to watch those fights? I doubt it. No one flocked to watch Shakur versus Joet Gonzalez. I'm torn on it, but at the end of the day, I got to say, I normally would choose the legacy route myself, but I don't want boxing to leave Shakur Stevenson. I know that may sound funny, huh? I don't want boxing to leave Shakur, because Shakur to me should be getting way more recognition than he gets. All of that crap that they be trying to say, it don't apply to Shakur. He ain't shy. He ain't scary. He ain't soft-spoken. He don't give you, they're boring performances. No, he challenging himself against the best. This dude should be a poster child. He should be a golden boy. But instead, we in this time where fighters like himself, or maybe even Devin Haney, like they're boring. And it's like they not Rolly. They're not Blair Cobbs. They're not Tank Davis. They're not characters. And so my thing is, the new era, the new gen of boxing, where they're taking boxing, I don't want to see the sport leave Shakur behind. Now, I mean, some of y'all may say, yo, main man, I heard my dog out there doing something. You take the offers as they come. You take the opportunities when they present themselves that way. Some of y'all may look at it that way. I get it. But it is what it is. Hey, hold on for a second, fight fan. I hate to keep putting these pauses, but my dog is doing something out there that I don't like the sound of. Hold on one second, fight fan. I hate to keep doing this, but I got to. Hold on one second. This is crazy. What the hell are you out there doing, man? Hold on. All right, sorry about that. That was Apollo, fight fans. That wasn't my fault. That was Apollo. This fool out there ripping up his leash. You know what I'm saying? He out there. I heard something clicking, like he literally took the leash, ripped the leash up. And the little pulley thing, like they got the little button on it or whatever, like a little trigger. And he done broke that little part up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, dog, what is you out there doing, man? I gotta watch this dog, y'all. Y'all don't understand, man. He's still in that puppy stage and he's still in that destruction stage. So I'm still dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still dealing with that. But anyway, back to this, man. So I'm just want to tell everybody, I just think that there's no wrong answers here. And in today's fight game, I don't want the fight game to leave Shakur Stevenson. I want him to be relevant. And I also want him in meaningful fights. And if right now, I mean, let's just call it for what it is, fight fans. Undisputed technically ain't got to go nowhere. Now, does it? I mean, does Undisputed honestly got to go anywhere? If he moves up to 35 and gets involved with the Cambosos and Devin Haney winner, is Undisputed going anywhere? Bob technically still got a hand around Undisputed. The only difference is that Undisputed fight will be much more bigger than his Undisputed fight down at 130. Now, wouldn't it? So maybe that's a route. I mean, when you're talking about a young fighter like this, man, you talking about time. You know what I'm saying? You talking about time. And I truly think that he got time. I mean, some people may say, man, you got to take Undisputed when it come. I get it. But at the end of the day, like, he can go for that Undisputed run. His drawing power can drop. His popularity can drop. I mean, he get in there with Kenichi Ogawa. Nobody will be checking for that fight fans. Y'all may say, well, man, let him bring along slow because, and look, Shakur per his words, he want those big name fights. This is why he was kicking up dust with Chris Colbert. He want the big names. He don't want to be, like an Andrade or something like. He don't want to be just beating up people and just getting by. Even though Jamel Herring and Oscar Valdez, great opponents, the momentum is now going. I believe that Shakur can beat Lomachenko. Y'all may not agree. I think he can beat Lomachenko. I think he can beat Lomachenko in the same fashion that Teo beat him. That's just what I see. You know what I'm saying? I think he can beat him in the same fashion Teo. Big Dose in the house. What's up, bro? He don't even have fam. He's the WBO champion. So he gets a straight shot against Devin versus Kambosos winner. You right, because he's unified now. You right. So he's considered the WBO super champion. Right? But, I mean, if they're going to do it twice, because word on the curb is what George Kambosos got a rematch clause. So if Devin beat him and they run it back, I mean, my thing is Shakur can go and get Loma out the way in the meantime, between time, especially catching Loma off a little inactivity. I think that makes sense. He's been also calling out Loma for a while. Just like he's been calling out Oscar Valdez for a while. He's been calling out Loma for a while. I truly think that Shakur want to wreck everything over Top Rank before that day comes, like with Terence Crawford and like with Floyd Mayweather, like with Oscar De La Hoya. When that day comes that he has to leave Top Rank. But before he leaves, he probably want to wipe out everything over there. You already got Herring. You already wiped out Oscar Valdez. Wipe out Vasyl Lomachenko. Teo already ran up in weight. Shakur might wipe out everything over there, Slim. If they want to move up Emmanuel Navarrete, move him up. Shakur can get him too. Knocking off Oscar and Jamel Herring was already two big dogs over there with Top Rank around his weight class. Now to get them two out the way, wipe out Vasyl Lomachenko, he going to be the last man standing over there. And that's what I think will make Shakur more happy than anything. Then after you done wiped out all of Bob's fighters, you leave Bob. Like Terence Crawford did, right? After Crawford wiped out everybody on that Top Rank carousel, he walked out the door. Said, you got nobody left for me because I wiped them all out. I wrecked them all. I got nothing but a trail of bodies. And that's what Shakur wants to do. Look at that smile. Look good, don't it? $1 million smile for now. Until he wrecks Top Rank. And that's why that's why Bob walked off that stage with Oscar. He knew what was coming. Oh, Oscar's gonna lose. I'm gonna be stuck with Shakur. Ay. I don't wanna be here. Somebody find my weed. Hey, Bob went to the car and rolled up a fatty and said, screw this fight. Because he knows Shakur gonna end up wiping out everything over there if Bob don't protect some of those fighters. But salute to Bob, man. He's saying that, look, bro, no unified. Hey, it's all we don't want the undisputed. That's still on the table, like Big Dose just said, and big ups to Big Dose. That's a great point because I didn't even think of it. Like I thought about it, like I say, just moving up, facing Vasyl Lomachenko. Bob may want to protect Vasyl Lomachenko and say, you know what? No, you just move on up and you get right into it. You go for it, kid. You know what I'm saying? Call up Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar, why not we do Shakur and Ryan? Makes sense. But he wants the names. And most importantly, he don't want to make the same mistake with Shakur. Like I said before, as he's done in the past with guys like Ricky Diao and Terence Crawford. He wants to get Shakur popping like the rest of them. And you got to do it now. You got to get him popping, Bob. You know it. Because if he don't get popping, boxing can walk away and leave him. Even though Shakur can still beat all their asses. You know what I'm saying? Charles Stevenson says, more glitter than substance. Absolutely, Charles. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And it's crazy because I also thought that ESPN and Top Rank did a good job in promoting as far as like the shoulder programming, like all of the well, not all access, whatever they call it, blood, sweat, and tears, and the face-to-face thing that they did. Oh, they tried, man. They put a lot of shoulder programming into Valdez and Shakur. They really did. And Shakur running around saying, "Hey, I think this is gonna make me a superstar." Da, da, da. They tried, man. And sometimes you just gotta have that thing. It's hard to say what that thing. You gotta have that thing. Look what Rolly got. Rolly got a thing. It's an ignorant thing, but he got a thing. Shakur ain't have a Floyd like Tank did. You know what I'm saying? Tank never had to talk for himself. Floyd did all of the talking. Shakur doesn't have this social media teeny bopper craze like Ryan got. Him and Devin Haney are more in the same lane, where they're talented as hell. Perhaps two of the two best out of the crop. As far as from 30 to 35. They perhaps may end up being the two best out of the crop. But they're not the cool kids. They're not part of the cool crowd. They're not, like my fam just said, they're not just glitz and no substance. So I hope it doesn't leave them, man. I hope it doesn't. Big Doe says, before Canelo became undisputed, there was only 7 previous undisputed champions. But after this year, we could have almost 15 or so. Oh, well, yeah, that's good, man. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I still think that's still a major legacy box to check. You know what I mean? And I remember, you know, when we used to big up Bud for it. And I think a lot of these fighters see the benefit of it. Because, I mean, we laid that shit out, man. Like, checking the boxes as you go along. What a legacy can do for you in after the fight game. Why Floyd Mayweather can come back and charge $100,000 a ticket. Why Mike Tyson can come out and still do 1 million pay-per-view buys. Why Evander Holyfield can still come out and out of retirement and still be put on pay-per-view as a factor, because they're living off their legacies of how great of a fighter that they once was, and people still support them through and through. That's always a box to check. Because that box holds you after boxing. That box is the thing that gets you coming back to the award shows. Is the thing that want people to see you on different platforms and question, give you interviews and have you do commentary because of what the things you've done and been through in the fight game. I love hearing Sugar Ray Leonard talk. I love hearing Andre Ward talk. I love to hear them brothers talk about the fight game, because these are dudes that have been checked every box along the way. And so I can sit and listen to these dudes talk for hours. But you give me somebody who barely did anything in the sport, I turn the channel at the snap of a finger. The legacy is what I respect when all of the smoke clears. So I understand if anybody says, yeah, man, he should go take it while you can. I think he should go for the names just because that's what boxing is today. And I'm going to leave that alone. I just don't want to see Shakur left behind. And not to mention, we talking about some cracking ass fights. I favor Shakur to beat Loma. I favor Shakur to beat Ryan. I favor Shakur to beat Kambosos. And to be honest with you, if we ever get there, I'd favor Shakur to beat Devin. The only one that I would have to stop, think about it, is Gervonta Davis. Because styles make, not because of Devin being a bad fighter or this person being a bad, because styles make fights. And I just seen Shakur struggle with body shots. So I'm just saying. All right, fight fans, let me move on to this very last thing. So good for Shakur and Bob. We'll see what's next for them. We'll see if a move up in weight comes. We'll see if anything like that. I know there's talks about a mandatory. So we'll see if any moving up in weight is going to happen for Shakur Stevenson. If any movement is going to happen between him and Vasyl Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? So let's move forward, fight fans. Let's move forward. It's getting late. And I want to give this prediction. All right, Shakur, we see you, brother. We see ya. Let's see. Let me get a Canelo Bivol. Hold on, where's my Canelo Bivol artwork? Hold on 1 second, fight fans. do this one. This is a good one. Good enough for me. Let's do it. Prediction time, fight fans. Let's talk about this. Hold on. Because I got some audio here I want to play. Got some audio here that we're going to listen to from my main man, Canelo. Canelo. Hold on. All right, fight fans. What do we have here? Who you got? Who you got, man? Who you got? In this fight? I look at it like this. Dmitry Bivol can do everything that Canelo's previous opponents have done and more. He has a lot going for him in this fight. He's young. He's youthful. He's physically he's athletic. And most importantly, he's fundamentally sound. A good boxer with a lot of heart. And he's beaten, to me, the best names as far as all of the other fighters at 175. I know a lot of y'all favor Beterbiev's wins. I don't. I see Dmitry Bivol's win over Joe Smith still, to me, as the best win at the class. I wasn't convinced with the Vosdick win in Beterbiev. I wasn't convinced with the Marcus Brown win by Beterbiev. Those are cool wins, but my man Dmitry Bivol has already wiped out the B-level opponents. Matter of fact, for those who don't know, because I know a lot of y'all ain't really that up like that with Dmitry Bivol. So if we take just a quick glance here, over at Dmitry Bivol's box rec, you'll notice that he beat, everybody as far as on the mid to B level that there was to beat. Now, when you go down and you see, okay, let's go all the way back. When he beat Sullivan Barrera back in 2018, Sullivan Barrera was still good, fight fans. He wasn't the Sullivan Barrera y'all think y'all see today. Back then, Sullivan Barrera only had one loss. And I think that one loss, I don't know if it was to Kovalev or was it to Andre Ward. I believe it was Kovalev, though. But it was only like one loss. And he still was a viable opponent back then. Dmitry Bivol beat him by margins. Major margins. Stopped him. You move up. Isaac Chilemba, mid-level guy. Wasn't that great. Wasn't that good. Easy work. You know what I'm saying? You D'd him. Jean Pascal. We know Jean Pascal recently had a resurgence in his career when he had beat. Who was he had beat? Was it Marcus? He beat Marcus Brown, right? You know what I'm saying? And he had a resurgence in his career until he got popped on his PEDs. And now he's basically back into the dustbin right now. But back then, Jean Pascal was always this awkward-ass, strong-ass fighter. You know what I'm saying? If you go back to that fight, Dmitry Bivol beat him handedly. Jean Pascal couldn't get near him. I mean, beat him handedly. Super wide margins. Joe Smith Jr. had it that was for the belt, right? For the WBA belt. Beat Joe Smith, current world champion today. This is why I say this was the best win at the class. Current world champion today. These guys, these Craig Richards and Castillos and all of these dudes. Now, I don't think highly of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, I believe the Craig Richards fight, I was impressed with that fight because Craig Richardson is tall and long, and he had to be figured out. Dmitry Bivol figured him out using his athletic ability, his footwork, and beat him on the outside, a taller, longer man, beating him to the punch each and every time. So he's beat the B levels. Now, I know what y'all see when y'all see these names. You see UD, 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 UD. And you say, well, man, this dude probably ain't got no power, bruh. He ain't got no power. We only got 11 knockouts. So it's like when his competition level kind of went up a little bit, man, it don't look like his knockouts are hanging in there. That's an issue. That's an issue there. I want y'all to remember something when we talk about power. Knockouts are always good. Knockouts are the guaranteed surefire way to show if a fighter has some power, right? Definitely show if he has pop. It shows that he has punching power. I don't want to say just power. He can be naturally or physically strong, but it shows that he has punching power, right? But also, what is another thing that shows that you got punching power? When fighters are not fighting their traditional ways, when they change their styles, when they're not taking as many risks, when they're fighting to stay alive. Beating fighters by margins doesn't always mean that you a pillow puncher, fight fans. It means sometimes some of these fighters goes into survival mode. Some of these fighters, they don't commit as much down the stretch. They're more winded than Dmitry Bivol. But the one thing that I do notice about Bivol, as much as I love him and I love to see him fight, he is missing a bit of a killer instinct. He's missing a bit of a killer instinct, fight fans. He don't have that go after you mentality. He don't. If anyone think that's not who he is. He lets the fight kind of play into his hands. He fights you at the rhythm that they settle in at, that he doesn't dictate much. He'll go with the flow of the fight. He's happy with the UDs. If he's up, he ain't gonna see no reason to put his foot on the gas and go after you and wipe you out. He ain't into making statements and shit like that. Some people may see that as a problem. Not the biggest body puncher, I will admit that too. I do not see him being the better inside fighter over Canelo Alverez. My biggest knock and con on Dmitry Bivol going into this fight is his experience level. A lot of these guys, though he dominated most of these dudes, and it's good what he did with Joe Smith, but a lot of these dudes, they're not like keep you sharp opponents. They didn't put Dmitry Bivol in situations where he was hurt, out on his feet, into a situation like that. How did he turn it around? There's a lot of in-ring experience that I have not seen Dmitry Bivol do yet. That's the only thing, because he's been so dominant against a lot of these mid-tier guys. So I haven't seen the experience of what happens if he does eat a body shot. Does he have the brain to tie up? Does he have the brain to hold? Or is it survival mechanism to shell up? Or is it to cower up? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen certain situations in him put in, but that doesn't mean anything bad to him because he's been so dominant as a fighter. That concerns me. Dmitry Bivol can jab, he can move, and he's not an over mover, fight fans. He's not Billy Joe Saunders. He's not Erislandy Laura. It's subtle movements with him. So I don't have I don't have no concern about him tank being drained all the way down to the end of the fight and then Canelo taking over. Like Canelo taking over like round 7, round 8, because Dmitry Bivol is drained out. He's not as strong no more. He's not as fast no more. He's a little tired. I don't see him punching himself in overactivity and weighing himself down in this fight and Canelo taking advantage with the hard shot. I don't see that fight playing out. I just don't see it. I think that in this fight that Canelo Alverez is going to attempt to do a lot of the things that he done in the past. But one thing that I noticed about Canelo, if you go back to that Sergey Kovalev fight, his only other fight at 175. It's hard for me. I mean, I give him the victory, you know what I'm saying? I give him the victory. But in those early rounds, Kovalev was not only beating him, but was laying some good leather on him as well. He just could not sustain it because of the grueling fight that he just went through with Anthony Yarde. And B, everyone knows Kovalev's bad habits. And Kovalev couldn't take the power of Canelo going down the stretch. He was winded. He was tired. He looked old down the stretch. And that's how Canelo was able to take advantage. But that 175 power, that punch power, Canelo was getting pieced up. And he was a bit more hesitant than normal. He operated, it took him a nice amount of rounds before he got into his rhythm of trying to walk Kovalev down. I didn't understand why Kovalev, as the bigger man, whom I perceived as the bigger man, why he was moving in boxing so much. Like he wasn't standing on much. And I thought as clean as he was connecting on Canelo, he should have stood on some more punches. But he didn't. I think that Canelo was going to be in for a rude awakening, thinking that this guy's going to tire out from his activity, from trying to stay away from me, overly moving, swinging in and just hitting gloves and arms until I'm ready to commit on him. I don't think he's going to be surprised that he's not going to get a tired fighter. And that's where the fight is going to get interesting to me. When Canelo tries to make that pivot where he starts to impose his offense, and he'll see that him imposing his offense, I don't think it goes as smooth as he thinks it will. Now, it's a bit of an unknown for me, fight fans. I don't know about for y'all, but it's a bit of an unknown for me on how strong Dmitry Bivol's body is, bruh. How strong do y'all think that Dmitry Bivol's body holds up? He's always in good shape. He's never looked winded and tired and super flat in fights. That ain't Dmitry Bivol, fight fans. But he's also never faced someone who focuses on his body. This is where the lack of experience, this is where that question mark comes in with me. He's never faced no one that focuses squarely on his gut and looking to walk you down and hit you to the gut. I'm going to say this, man. I think we're going to get a draw. Let's call it right here, right now. I believe that Canelo Alverez versus Dmitry Bivol will end in a draw. I think that Canelo Alverez will give up the early rounds. He'll find himself down in early, and he'll start to try to impose himself as normal. He'll go down and come up. He'll meet a bit of resistance. I think Dmitry Bivol's jab, I think his combination punching, his fast hands, he'll give him a lot of incoming fire. Dmitry Bivol has a lot of heart. He will stand his ground. He's not, like I said, an over mover. He's more of a frustrating mover where he gets outside of your punches and then scoots right back into position. He's right back on you. He's a scooter out, but he's coming right back. Like, he's not scooting out to go and find somewhere else to set up. That ain't Dmitry Bivol. He'll scoot out and then come right back on you. So Canelo Alvarez, I believe, is going to be met with a lot of resistance trying to run up on Dmitry Bivol. And Dmitry Bivol is not going to tire as fast as his previous opponents. I think Dmitry Bivol takes the early rounds. But I think that eventually Canelo makes an adjustment roughly about round 5. He takes a couple mid-rounds due to Dmitry Bivol not dealing with such a smaller guy that's looking to get to the inside. He's going to have to figure that out. But I think he figures it out. I think Canelo runs up some middle rounds, but I think we got a neck-and-neck fight. And I think Dmitry Bivol in the championship, the late rounds, gets back on his game, giving Canelo a bunch of incoming fire, and then Canelo starts to slow down. Can't finish this fight as strong as he hoped. The added weight, I think with the added weight on Canelo, it's going to slow him down a bit in this fight. He's going to rely on his power more. But if that power punch never comes, it's going to, I believe, slow him down in the last half of the fight. Now, Canelo has been getting good over time of conserving his stamina because he's not doing so much early. But when he sees that, well, I'm not hurting this dude as much as I think I should have or should be, I think it makes him take it up a notch. And he's going to start to deplete himself. I'm telling you, I think in the end, Canelo is just not going to be able to put Bivol away like he's put everyone else away. And Bivol is going to take rounds with incoming fire. Bivol is sturdy. And I think that's going to get us a draw. Now, I know a lot of y'all may say, well, man, Canelo Alverez, a draw? You serious? Yeah. But I just think about it. I don't think the Gennady Golovkin fight is the biggest thing in the world, and it's so hard for them to walk away from that fight. If we got a draw in this fight, they'll run this shit back. That's what I think. But I think Canelo's going to have successes to the body in the mid rounds. But I think Bivol will adjust. Bivol won't keep giving Canelo the body. He won't give him nothing. He won't give him nothing. He's not going to toe-to-toe it with Canelo Alvarez. He ain't trying to win over the Mexican fans. That ain't like Triple G tried to do. That ain't who this dude is. He's a brain. He's a brain. Perhaps, to me, the best brain that Canelo has faced since Eris Landy Lara. That's what I believe. I'll see if I'm proven right or wrong after the fight. But I think he's facing a brain that's tough. Well, then again, the toughness is a question mark. We'll see. We'll see what happens when those body shots start to land. That's, like I said, that's the only area I'm a little murky on with Bivol. I don't know I can't sit here and say what level of toughness that he really is, because he's never been put in a lot of these situations. I can't say what his brain does in certain in trouble spots. If Canelo was hitting him to the body, wearing him down, tiring him down, does he know how to adjust and think in those moments? I haven't seen those moments ever come to Dmitry Bivol. The reason I believe that Reynoso and Canelo chose Bivol was because of that very reason. They know that Bivol, they look at Bivol and they say, well, okay, they know Beterbiev is a hard puncher. They know dealing with that is going to be somewhat stylistically a bit of a headache for Canelo right now. But in Bivol's case, they look at him and they say, well, A, he's got a bunch of UDs, and B, he has not fought no one that prepares him for you. He's never been in situations that prepares him for you. That's what they I think when they look at Bivol, they basically in a nutshell see a snot-nosed kid that looks good against everyone else, but put in certain situations, he won't look as good. I'm going to say that one more time. They believe that Dmitry Bivol can look good against everyone else because they have not put him in the position that Canelo will put him in, and he won't look as good. There have been fighters that tried to walk him down. He's met them with resistance and a bunch of punches. There have been fighters that have a bit try to rough him up, but he knows how to create the separation and get the space and push you back to the range he wants you at, and then begin to dictate that fight to you again. But there haven't been a lot of fighters, if any, that have literally beaten up Dmitry Bivol and took him into another place. No fighter's ever done that. That's the question mark. That's the same question mark we had for, say, like Anthony Yard when the going gets tough. Or the same question mark we had for a Daniel Dubois when the going gets tough. These guys look great, didn't they? They look awesome against everyone else until the going got tough, and then you learned. And that's the same way with Bivol. That's something we don't know. When the going is going to get real tough. And Canelo, like I said, he focuses on one area, the body. He wants that to be the lead off. The body makes the head fall, right? Canelo's upper body movement is going to have to be crackerjack in this fight. Crackerjack fight, fans. Canelo fights at a rhythm where he's almost dancing. He's almost got a beat in his head. And if you look at his upper body movement, he's moving on a rhythm. It's got to be cracking. He cannot allow Dmitry Bivol to get off the combinations at mid-range like he likes to do. Canelo's head movement got to be moving. At seeing Bivol's punches coming, bam, and counterpunch him right to the body. Boom. Bivol can't give him that, though. Bivol's got to use those subtle movements, but Canelo, his upper body's got to be moving at a rhythm. I do not think that Dmitry Bivol's going to back down from Canelo. Now, Dmitry Bivol ain't tripping off sides. He's not looking at it like, oh, well, I'm the bigger man, so I should not have to run from Canelo. He don't look at it that way. I heard a recent quote from Dmitry Bivol. He says that the giraffe is the biggest animal in the jungle, right? But a giraffe can't beat nothing. You know what I'm saying? Basically, he right. It's not about size. It's about execution. Canelo, people have this notion that, oh, he's beating these dudes because of size. No, it ain't got nothing to do with size. It's execution. It's Canelo letting them spend half of their tank out trying to stay away from them. And the second half of their tank, he's going to take with the body shots. And then they're going to fall. And they're going to fall. The one beautiful thing about Canelo over the years that made him better, was since that loss to Floyd Mayweather, Canelo's upper body movement had became 20 times better. Canelo armed himself or geared himself up with a new tool called crackerjack upper body movement. And since then, he has become a much better fighter. When you incorporate that, his upper body movement that he had dancing to that rhythm, that coordination, when you incorporate that with the fact that he became more patient, well, that's how you got the fighter that you got today. They asked him about the Floyd Mayweather fight like they always do, right? And he says, I learned from that. I learned the 8, I don't want to lose again. But he learned also, swinging for the fences, that ain't the way to go. Swinging, going in there off because I'm the bigger, stronger guy, that ain't the way to go. You got to be calculated. And most importantly, you got to wear your man down and make him that stationary target through body shots. Canelo's became a much better fighter since Floyd, man. A much better fighter. So my call for this fight fans, will be Canelo Alverez and Dmitry Bivol will end in a draw. I know that's going to be hard that's only if the judges are upfront judges. Now, of course, Canelo might already be up 5-6 rounds. You might need a knockout just to get a draw. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about as a clean viewed fight. If everything is on the up and up, I believe that this fight is going to end in a draw. I believe that these two men's styles really complement each other, and it's going to be a head-to-head matchup. What Canelo brings in upper body movement and body work and a bit of elusiveness can be answered with Dmitry Bivol's jab, his footwork, in the range that he likes to fight at. Not to mention, he's a puncher. He's not going to stand there and just allow Canelo Alvarez to walk on in, shell up and just walk in. He's going to be testing Canelo upstairs, everywhere, around the guard, everywhere, trying to split the guard everywhere. He's not going to just not punch. That's never been Dmitry Bivol. And if Dmitry Bivol gets into that posture, that means Canelo is more stronger than I thought. If he hits Bivol and make Bivol keep his hands at bay, that means Canelo is much more stronger than I thought, and Bivol won't have a prayer. If we get that fight, Bivol won't have a chance. If we get a Errol Spence and Danis Ugas style, Bivol won't have a chance. If Bivol go in there and feel Canelo's power and says, you know what, I'm just not going to go back with this dude, he won't have a chance. If Bivol think that he's going to move and jab, you're not going to have a chance. That shit don't work against Canelo no more. That moving and jabbing, you got to bring more to it because you're going to get worn down eventually. Then what? Billy Joe got worn down, got broke. Caleb Plant got worn down, got broke. Canelo is wearing these fighters down because you're trying to stay alive. You're trying to stay away from them. You're trying to keep your space away from them. You're trying to keep punches on them. And now here we are round 6. You're slowed down and he's coming on. I think we get a draw fight, fans. I think we get a draw. Hey, salute to my main man. 100 grand is in the house, man. D-Lo 404 boxing. My main man, 100 grand. Hey, everybody that hear the sound of my voice, I ain't even got to say it. You already. You got to be checking out D-Lo. D-Lo, I hope all is well, bro. I hope all is well, man. Much love to you, bro. And I hope you're enjoying these fights this weekend, champion. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. Salute to my main man, D-Lo 404 Boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be running the panel soon, bro. I hope you can come on through, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm stirring up these Spence fans, so I know they're going to have a lot to come on and tell me once we go panel style. You know what I'm saying? Much love to my homie D-Lo 404 Boxing. Thank you for riding with me tonight, fam. He says, I think that Canelo will have his hands full on Saturday. Me too. I don't mean, look, man, if Canelo pull this out, I don't see it happening by margins. If he do, like I said, man, it's gonna make me revisit my pound for pound conversation. Y'all know forevermore I got Terence Bud Crawford as #1 pound for pound, and I've given the reason as the video as to the reasons why I got him pound for pound over Canelo. But it's time for an update. It's time for an update. If Canelo Alverez goes in there and dominates Dmitry Bivol, that's good enough for me, fight fans. I'm sorry. And I'm one of the hardest critics on Canelo. I'm one of the ones that, Canelo, you're going to have to do a little bit more, bruh. A little bit more, bruh. A little bit more. I've been saying that for his last few fights. This is the one I've been asking for. You dominate this fighter, whom I have tremendous respect for, whom I have a high pedigree, who has a high pedigree. I believe that Dmitry Bivol beats Sergey Kovalev and he beats Artur Beterbiev, in my opinion. Y'all may not agree, but in my opinion. So, if Canelo wipes out Bivol, he may be getting his crown. He may be. That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me to squinch my eyes on the PED stuff. It is. I'm sorry, fight fans. And see, I get it. I ain't stupid. I mean, I know a lot of people may not want to give Bivol that kind of credit because you don't want to have to then turn around and say this is why Canelo should be #1. So people would rather water down Bivol and say beating Bivol ain't shit, because it's like if you beat him, then it's like, yeah, we still don't have to give you #1. Nah, damn that. I don't subscribe from that notion. I'm MainmanMademan. And I've been very critical of Canelo Alverez. Very critical of Canelo Alverez in his entire road, every step of the way. The Smith brothers, the Avni Yildirim fight, all of that shit. The PEDs. I crucified them for that. The whole 9 yards, fighting for belts at catch weights. Man, you can type in Mainman Mademan and Canelo Alverez, and you're probably hard pressed to find a video where I'm bigging up Canelo overall. Because I've always had a problem with every little thing that he does. Whether it's fighting at Canelo weights, whether it's fighting for world titles at Canelo weights, whether it's meeting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. all the way up there, just to come all the way back down here, whether it's facing Sergey Kovalev after a couple weeks fight, I've always criticized him every step of the way. Because there's always been some bull crap with him. Always been some bells and whistles. And so this is why I say, for me to put him on that pound for pound, you got to dominate Dmitry Bivol. Not beat him. Not split decision him. No, you need to dominate him. The hole is that deep on Canelo. The crap is too much crap, fight fans. The hole is that deep. And so you got to dominate him. That's just the way I see it. You know what I'm saying? Just maintaining. Hope you are having it your way, man. Yeah, D-Lo, I'm good, bro. I can't complain, man. You know what I'm saying? Who would listen, man? You know what I mean? Hey, man, I'm getting close to my birthday. For those who don't know, fight fans, my birthday is next week. Bye, tourist season in the house. You know what I'm saying? That's right, man. Hey, birthday May 11th, fight fans. So that weekend, particular weekend, I can't say I'm gonna stream at all that weekend, but I may just come on through for some birthday wishes or something like that. But that's about as much. You know what I'm saying? So I know D-Lo just recently had his, man. Mine's coming up next week, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Another year younger, another year wiser. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. Real spill. Canelo rarely gets clear separation versus the best opponents. Exactly. But we'll see. I mean, if that's why I say with Dmitry Bivol, let's see if you get some separation over this dude. Everything that Canelo is saying about Bivol, I agree. When he says that Bivol is a solid fighter, 100%. When he says that Bivol perhaps is the best fighter at 75, 100%. I agree with all of that. I even respect Canelo for taking this fight. I can't do nothing but respect this fight. And then he's still talking about if he gets through this, moving on to face Beterbiev and the rest of the dudes, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Zerto's still hanging out there. He's still talking about going forward to do that, not fight little Errol Spence. So this 75 road can perhaps be a major defining moments for Canelo Alvarez. Beating a Dmitry Bivol, a full-fledged WBA champion who's reigned, fight fans, for quite some time at this point. He's not a new champion. He's not a rookie champion. He's not a paper champion. This is a fighter that has reigned for quite some time now. I think he gives him a draw. Now, like I said, the power, y'all may look at the power, and I don't think that Dmitry Bivol was a weak puncher by far. I don't think, don't overlook into those UDs. Some of those UDs were survival UDs. Some of those UDs were fighters that just did not want to go away or go down. And they changed who they were as a fighter. Go back and watch some of them fights. They pulled back. And I will grant that to you. If you say, well, main man, they pulled back, but Bivol didn't push on. Granted, I will give you that. Or should I say kick it to the next gear? Killer instinct. Go after him. Smelt blood. That ain't Dmitry Bivol. I have not seen that. I will admit that. I have never seen that level of ferociousness from Dmitry Bivol. But I have seen a fundamentally sound fighter that stays calm, cool, and collect under pressure. That stays calm, cool, and collect when fighters want to try to impose on him. He has all of the proper tools to deal with those looks. And I think in Canelo's case, it will be more of the same. It ain't always about stopping and knockout power, fight fans. Sometimes it's about enough power just to get your respect. Let me tell y'all a secret. Like, Timothy Bradley gets knocked on a lot. Like, he never had no power. Remember, Timothy Bradley used to get on the scales. He can give you the Steiner brother muscle. He can give you the muscle that turns into another muscle that splits down into 3 muscles. You know what I'm saying? When Tim Bradley used to get on that scale, I mean, Tim Bradley had the best boxing body that you have perhaps ever seen on a fighter. But he had like a small amount of knockouts. If I recall, it was like, it was bad, man. But guess what? Look at Timothy Bradley's fights. He didn't stop a lot of people because he was so small. You know what I'm saying? But Timothy Bradley buzzed a hell of a lot of people. And he gave, I still remember the body shot he hit Juan Manuel Marquez with. That put Marquez on his bicycle. Tim used to hit you to the body like boom, boom. And people will go into survival modes against him. It wasn't so much that he didn't have the knockout power. But he had power that would get your attention. And if you let him pile up on you, he will get your ass out of there. But fighters will go into survival mode. Or they'll go into something else. Or they'll go into some kind of war where he can't sit on his punches, or push him up against the ropes. But they would not, like Timothy, they would not let them punches pile up on him from Timothy Bradley. But they knew how to survive enough to not to get him knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Timothy Bradley used to get on that thing. I used to be like, look, he looked like he can knock anybody out. There's nobody in boxing that Timothy Bradley can't knock out. The way he get on them scales. He look like on the Donis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's sometimes that's the way power gotta be perceived. It's not always knockout power. I get the Errol Spence Jr. fans all the time. Man, Earl is strong. He's strong. He got power. I'll say, well, yeah, he has power. I don't disagree with that. It's not knockout power. It's not knockout artist power like Bud's, but it's break your ass up power. You let too many Earl's punches pile up on you. Guess what? You're gonna turn into your Danish Ugas. Your face gonna turn into a mass. Your Danish Ugas eye look like he got stung by like 50 blackjacks or something, or hornets or something. It was swole all up like a golf ball from constant punching. He might didn't go down. He didn't get dropped. But I'm sure for the next month or two, Yordenis Ugas is going to be going through a lot of painful days. You know what I'm saying? Different kinds of power fight fans. So I don't think that Dmitry Bivol has stopping power. But I do believe he got power. You know what I'm saying? All right, fight fans, before I get out of here, that's my call for the night. It's going to be a draw for this fight. Let me see one last small thing before I go. Before I let y'all go for the night, just give me 1 second, fight fans. Let me grab my other device. Hold on. All right, so that's what happens when your devices die out. You know what I'm saying? We don't charge them before the thing or whatever. So I wanted to get some audio in real quick, man. I wanted to get a couple audio because some things I heard Canelo say that I really wanted to kind of cover. And I'm going to pull the music for this. We'll pull the music for this. All right. I want to go through some of Canelo's recent words that he had to say. Okay. I got this all kind of queued up here, so this is good. Some things that I thought that he was speaking on about Dmitry Bivol. And some of the things that Dmitry Bivol brings to the fight game. So we're going to listen to Canelo say some of these words if we can. And they asked Canelo Alverez in this recent media scrum, when they were answering all of these questions about basically how do you feel about Dmitry Bivol's movement and how to deal with that kind of movement. You know what I'm saying? So let's listen to what Canelo had to say.
Caleb is a really skilled fighter, and Bivol is a really skilled fighter, good footwork, but he's strong, and he's smart too, so he's a hard fighter.
You think you'll stop him?
Could be, why not? In boxing, anything can happen.
So, what do you think is the trickiest thing that Bivol has?
He have everything. He's strong. He have a really good jab. He have a really good footwork, and he have everything. He's a smart fighter too.
Is there one thing though that sticks out?
You know, I got to give Canelo credit for that. Canelo realizes exactly what he's facing. He's not under the assumption that he's going in there with some novice fighter. And I look at Canelo, and I'm looking at his face. I'm literally looking at his face as he's saying this. Like, Canelo got the serious face. Like, you know that face you make, like if somebody say something to you that catch you off guard, that get you into like real serious mode. It's like he was kind of chilling for a minute. And then when they asked him about like Bivol's style, he just made a serious face. Like, I totally realize what I'm up against. Like, I truly believe that Canelo really realizes that he's really pushing himself and challenging himself in this instance. I think he knows that. You know what I'm saying? And I think he really knows that I'm going up against a guy that basically don't got many flaws. Aside from the toughness, his experience level, and perhaps what he does once he gets hit to the body, the unknowns. Aside from that, I think Canelo really knows that he's in there with somebody that I'm not going to be able to bully around. I better be on my A game because this guy can do everything, just like Canelo said. Everything. Let's listen to a little bit more Canelo.
In the last fight, so maybe one day I need to move a little bit. I can do it too, but that worked for me in the last fight.
It was actually Sugar Ray Robinson's birthday yesterday.
So he was saying, far as like the movement worked for him in the last fight. And I guess he was saying with Caleb Plant, how the movement worked for him because it allows him to do certain things. But the difference is, like I said, man, like when we say movement, this ain't Billy Joe Saunders movement. This ain't Caleb Plant movement. This is Dmitry Bivol style movement where he's not scoot. It's just little shit. He's not going to overact. He's not going to like be overly defensive, burning energy and burning his tank down. It's little movement. So I hope Canelo is fully aware that Bivol doesn't move like a lot of his previous opponents. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? This is what Canelo feels where Bivol ranks at 175.
Really good fighter. For me, it's a really good challenge because he's, for me, the best 175 and is a solid champion. He's a really good boxer and it's a challenge for me.
So we know how much you love to challenge yourself. We saw Eddie Hearn's comments. You said you'd move up to 1 pound over the cruiserweight limit to face Alexander Usyk. And I think Alexander Usyk's manager said that he dropped back down to cruiserweight to face you. Spoke to Eddie Reynoso. He wasn't too keen on the fight, but is it something you were genuinely interested in?
A lot of things say, right? And like as a fighter, I don't care. I fight whoever.
Now there's some talk about him and Usyk. I don't believe so. I don't think that fight is on the table. Some people believe that that's a possibility. I don't think so. I mean, if Usyk does come down to cruiserweight, and then Canelo was talking at one time about fighting that Makabu dude at cruiserweight, right? So I don't know. I mean, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, why do Usyk? He might well just go and fight Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? If he going before he face Usyk, I mean. Maybe he wants to go after the challenge. Then again, if he wants to go after the challenge, but I wouldn't want to see him go up that high until he wraps up like all of these fighters in this little weight class area that he's at. Between 75 and 68, like, just too many names now. The line is too long, fight fans. It's the same way. It's like, I ain't going to say the same way with Earl, but then again, the line is too long. You got things to do first. I mean, that whole Usyk stuff and all that, that's circus shit, man. That can happen after you've done what you had to do with guys like Bivol and Beterbiev and Charlo and Andrade and David Benavidez and these type of fighters. That's all of the legacy technically Canelo need. Canelo can retire after those fights. But it's too much, man. It's just way too much. It's just way too much. So, but he does say is that he sees Dmitry Bivol as the absolute best fighter at 175 pounds. You know what I'm saying? This is what Canelo Alverez had to say about Errol Spence Jr. and the Errol Spence Jr. fight, for those who haven't heard it.
Reports yesterday about a Errol Spence fight at 164, and I don't know if you heard about it. Anything you want to say about that report?
No, nothing. Like I said before, I don't want to do things like that, right? In cash weight 164, why me? I don't need to do that.
But what if it's at 60?
168. Huh? Canelo. I don't need to do anything like that.
Whew. That is embarrassing, fight fans. That's embarrassing. He says, why they asking for me? He says, I don't need to do anything like that. That's embarrassing. This is what I was talking about earlier in the stream, man. This is what I was talking about. This is Canelo Alvarez saying, kid, go over there and play somewhere. I'm busy. I got things to do. Why you worried about me? You got Terence Crawford right there. Why you worried about me? It's sad that Canelo got to come out and ask these type of questions. Why me? Like, why me? Like, why you want to come all the way up to here? They like come down to 60 and 64. Canelo, like, I'm fighting. Do you know what I'm fighting now? I'm fighting at 175 damn pounds. And you telling me to come down to 60 and 64s and all this shit? This is embarrassing. Embarrassing, fight fans. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Canelo Alvarez on what losing to Floyd Mayweather has did for him.
Knowledge of what you're doing now is taking out this war.
No, I learned a lot. And the most important thing I learned from that, I don't want to lose anymore.
and Canelo, you said Charlo and Benavidez, they should be fighting each other in the ring, not out of the ring. They're fighting.
Every fighter. I don't not use them.
Yeah, and they're fighting Lemieux and Selecki next. What do you think of those fights?
Selecki.
From Poland. That's who Charlo's fighting. Is that yeah, just your reaction to those fights.
I don't need to say anything.
Wow. He say Su who? Su what? The dude had to explain to him who Selecki was And they asked Canelo about Charlo's next opponent. And they asked Canelo, do you have anything to say about that? He says, I don't have to say anything. Bro, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing, bruh. He don't even feel like, say what? I don't have to say nothing. I can let that stand on its own merits. And everything that you see on that fight, you already know. I don't have to say a word. He's fighting Sulecki. Sulecki. If we ever mention a Canelo in the same breath as a Sulecki, boxing is finished. That is embarrassing. They bring up the Earl question to him. He dismissed it. Go over there and play. They bring up, what do you think about what Charlo's doing? I don't have to say anything about that. That's embarrassing. This is why Mike Tyson got to run around here saying, y'all got me calling dudes the Mexican monster. Y'all got me doing this. This is embarrassing. And he just said, look, I'm telling everybody to fight each other, not just that person. All of y'all fight each other. Now, here's my deal. I would be roasting Canelo. I would be roasting his ass if he wasn't fighting Dmitry Bivol. See, there was a time when Canelo can talk this way, and I'd be like, hold on, Canelo. You cannot even go there, bro. You fought the Smith brothers, and you didn't fight the Charlo brothers. You did this, you did that. I would use to, y'all know my talking points. But guess what? I can't do nothing right here. Canelo can sit on his high horse and tell them all this shit because guess what? He's fighting Dmitry Bivol. There may have been one time, once in time, I couldn't say nothing. But now he's fighting Dmitry Bivol. I can't say a word. And no one else can say a word. The only thing that they can do is like Charlo, they sitting around and waiting and shit. Hoping that Canelo bless him and shit. Even though he said he's booked for the year. He says he's booked for the year and they still waiting around for him. Finding $100 million, but they can't find. Boy, I tell you, PBC is a trip, man. Last but not least, I already played this part, but I want to play it one more time because I got it marked off. I want to hear it one more time. This is Canelo Alverez telling all of these fighters what to do. Listen to Canelo.
You said Charlo and Benavidez, they should be fighting each other in the ring, not out of the ring. They're fighting.
Every fighter. I don't not use them.
Yeah, and they're fighting Lemieux and Selecki next. What do you think of those fights? From Poland. That's who Charlo's fighting. Just your reaction to those fights.
I don't need to say anything. Guys, you need to, you like media, you need to see and look at what they do and what I do. Right? It's different, big difference. So
damn. All I can say is, fight fans, as far as look at what they do and look at what I do, big difference. I mean, it's hard for me to, I want to have a talking point. I wish I had one. I wish I had a comeback. I wish the Charlo cheerleaders, I wish Earl didn't run after him. I wish Charlo ain't kissing his ass the way he does. I wish they all acted like David Benavidez. I wish they all acted like Demetrius Andrade. But it's a staring contest, man. I got nothing. I'm forced to call him the Mexican monster. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing, fight fans. I got nothing. So it is what it is. But interesting fight. I'm really looking forward to this fight this weekend, fight fans. This is going to be a great fight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of implications here. Canelo Alvarez moving up to 175 to possibly go after his second world title at 175. Remember, he beat Kovalev for one, but he vacated. So this will be the second time he'll be going after a world title at 175 pounds. And he's going after perhaps the top dog, in my opinion, at the weight class first. Well, second. But, he's going right in there, right after the top dog. And he's talking like after this, he's putting the winner of Beterbiev and Joe Smith in his sights. I know Bob Arum is hoping. well, that's called Canelo. I know he's hoping. But this fight is going to be monumental. A lot of implications, fight fans. We're talking about possibly new pound-for-pound changes if Canelo Alverez can go in there and become dominant. Last but not least, fight fans, I want to say that for those who haven't heard it, my final call on this will be Canelo Alverez and Dmitry Bivol ending in a draw. If Canelo Alverez dominates Dmitry Bivol, I will be thoroughly impressed and take a second look at my pound-for-pound rankings. If he squeaks by Dmitry Bivol on some questionable bullshit on the judges' scorecards, I'm not giving it to him, fight fans. I'm sorry. Because we know how sometimes boxing can be biased for Canelo, the cash cow. So I know what I'm going to see. If I see a robbery in there, hell no. I need degrees of separation. Why? Because the guy who I got, number one, Terence Crawford, when he moved up in weight and took on a champion in his first fight, guess what? Major degrees of separation. Wiped him out. And this was a fighter that just beat a legendary fighter in Manny Pacquiao. So if Terence Crawford can do it, I'm sure Canelo can do it, right? And Dmitry Bivol ain't having Manny Pacquiao. Funny. So at the end of the day, I'm sure he can do it. Now, like I say, full credit is even due, even with the victory, aside from the pound-for-pound implications. Canelo Alvarez just gaining the victory in general over Dmitry Bivol is still impressive to a certain degree. Once again, Dmitry Bivol is a reigning champion. He's not a weak champion. He's not a paper champion. He's not a guy with it's not fundamentally sound. He's not an injured fighter. He's not a fighter coming off of a grueling fight. He's in the best shape of his life, perhaps even his prime. All up and up, all green arrows. No rehydration clauses here. None of that stuff. None of that stuff, fight fans. And so for that, I gotta say, if you go in there and you beat this man by margins, we'll take a second look at Canelo in a different light. You get me? You get me. I'm out of here, fight fans. That's it for me. I'm tired as a mug, man. I don't know how I got through this joint, fight fans, but I got through it. You know what I'm saying? I had a long day. A long day. Next live stream, we'll open up the panel to the fam. Y'all want to come on through, rock out with the homie, I would greatly appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to come on and rock out with me on the next live stream. We'll do it panel style. We'll have the boxes all set. We'll be over on StreamYard, and we'll do it that way. We can have some debates go on. We can talk about anything y'all want to talk about. I'll also perhaps open up the panel for the Bivol and Canelo immediate reaction. You know what I'm saying? Last time, what fight was that? I think that what fight was that? We did a panel for. Was it the Shakur fight? I enjoyed that. I think that was a Shakur fight. That was the first time I've ever done that, believe it or not, fight fans. And that was a bit of an experiment, and I liked the way that flowed. You know, I did my thing, my immediate reaction thing, and then I had the fam come on through and give me their points of view of everything that happened on the fight. I think that's a real cool reaction style. So I'll also have the panel open for an immediate reaction after the Canelo versus Bivol fight. If any of the fam that rock out with the channel want to come on through and y'all want to chop it up with the homie and tell me what y'all saw, I'm all ears. You know what I'm saying? I'm all ears. But next live stream will be panel style. So much love to you all. I'm very tired, fight fans. My voice is leaving me. It's time for me to say good night. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourselves. Protect your family. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the fights this weekend. Enjoy the tomorrow fights, man. And turn up, man. Canelo Nation, this is y'all time. Have a good time with this fight. Don't let nobody tell you no. Defend your guy. Even when guys like Mainman Mademan gonna be here doubting your guy. But you defend your guy. And I need y'all here all day. Be good, fight fans. Thumbs up on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in. Share, and rock those bells. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow is Friday. I know some of y'all got to go to work tomorrow, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to go into work tomorrow feeling good that it's Friday. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be Feel Good Friday. You're going to walk into your job an hour late. That's right, an hour late. Your boss is going to look at you and say, why in the hell were you an hour late? You're going to say it's Feel Good Friday, and most importantly, it's vacation season, and the labor shortage is real. So guess what? Stay off my ass. Matter of fact, you're lucky I didn't come in 2 hours late. You keep running your mouth, I'm going to walk out this damn door. You know what I'm saying? So do me a favor. Shut your mouth, go in your office, and chill on out, and I'm going to need 2 lunch breaks today. And please, don't forget the keys. to the company car all day. Much love, fam. To the next video, man. Peace out. I made it, fight fans. I made it.